Once every 100 years, the spirit of death selects a newly departed soul to inherit its mantle. On the night the Ninetales was sealed away, this fateful selection occurred. Shielded by a powerful barrier during the sealing, Kushina Uzumaki was the only viable candidate when the fourth Hokage invoked the Reaper's seal. Reborn as the embodiment of death, Kushina gained insight into her child's destiny, and to spare him the suffering she foresaw, she bestowed upon Naruto a hidden legacy and dominion over shadows, safeguarding him from the village and those who would do him harm. Beyond the gates of the Hidden Leaf, Reaper's seal, Minato, after exchanging a final, silent farewell with his newborn son, executed the sealing technique to contain the Ninetales within Naruto. As the ritual ended, Minato's spirit was drawn into the stomach of the death spirit. Unexpectedly, Kushina's essence was taken along as well. Only Minato, Kushina, and their baby remained within the protected circle. No one on the outside could witness the events unfolding inside. The third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, knew Minato had invoked the forbidden jutsu to halt the Ninetales' destruction. No one else had any idea what had become of the fourth's wife. Medical personnel could only speculate that the trauma from childbirth and biju extraction had claimed her life. Deep within Naruto's inner realm, his wails reverberated through an endless hollow space. A tall, red-haired woman in a kimono emerged from the shadows, her 9 orange tails fluttering gently behind her. As she approached the crying child, he instinctively quieted, comforted by her presence. The fox demon tensed, sensing an unfamiliar force intruding into the sealed domain, a powerful being that should not exist here. Kurama, the voice spoke. The figure known as Kurama turned solemn as recognition dawned. Is that you, death spirit? Yes, came the reply as a distinct form took shape. Kurama gasped. The Reaper bore Kushina's exact likeness. Kushina, she whispered. I'm sorry, none of this was my doing. The now transformed death goddess raised a hand. It's all right, I understand. You were not in control. The true architect of tonight's tragedy is someone who should have perished long ago. I will see him judged. He toyed with divine forces and harmed my kin. There is no escape for him now. Kurama bowed and gently took the child from her former host. The baby cooed softly, sensing a warmth that he recognized, curling against her with a content sigh. Tears welled in Kushina's eyes as she cradled her son one last time. Through her new divine sight, she glimpsed his future. What she saw filled her with dread. Unlike her, Naruto's life as a Jinchuriki would be marked by cruelty. After a silent moment, she pressed a kiss to his forehead and whispered words unknown to mortals. A soft, silvery light enveloped the infant, then faded away. With quiet resolve, she handed him back to Kurama. Kurama, I've awakened within Naruto a new ability and mastery over the dark. His gifts will awaken when he turns 6. I've altered your seal, allowing you to act when he's endangered. The villagers, what they will do to him is unthinkable. Please, protect him in my absence. The 9-tailed spirit nodded as the divine presence faded, gently rocking the child as he drifted back to sleep. Rest easy, Naruto. I will be your guardian until the day you meet her again. Back in the Hidden Leaf, the barrier dissolved, and Hiruzen advanced with his ANBU escort. As they approached the clearing, they found the child nestled peacefully between his fallen parents. Hiruzen's chest tightened as he gathered the orphaned infant. The boy's golden hair mirrored his father's, and he imagined his eyes would match as well. The intricate seal on the baby's belly shimmered faintly, and his cheeks bore 3 distinct whisker-like marks. With quiet authority, the old Hokage addressed his ninja. The truth of the masked assailant will remain confidential until our inquiry is complete. Leaks could destabilize the entire village. Understood, Hokage-sama, the ANBU chorused. Satisfied, the elder nodded. Begin search and rescue. Recover the injured, extinguish fires, and report to the council chamber once finished. Later, the village leaders, clan heads, civilians, advisors, and elders assembled in an undamaged hall. All eyes turned to the small bundle in the Hokage arms. Thank you for arriving on such short notice, Hiruzen began. Tonight, the 9-tails attacked and devastated our home. The 4th Hokage and his wife paid the ultimate price. Before his death, Minato sealed the beast within this child, Naruto, hoping the boy would be honored as our savior. He's a monster, a civilian counselor shouted, shattering the moment. An uproar broke out. Some cried for the child's execution, others demanded decorum and silence. Naruto stirred, disturbed by the waves of malice surrounding him. Kurama, sensing the danger, drew his mind into the inner world to shield him. The child calmed instantly in the beast's presence. The ANBU encircled Hiruzen as two reckless members of the council lunged toward the boy. A flash later, they collapsed lifeless. The Sandame's gaze was cold. Enough, this is a council, not a mob, compose yourselves. Within the mindscape, Kurama trembled with fury. Stupid old man, why reveal Naruto's status? Kushina's was hidden. Minato's wish might have survived had you been more careful. Now, these fools will only see him as my reincarnation. Centuries of existence had shown the fox that while humans could be brilliant, they could also be the most selfish and short-sighted of all creatures. Hokage-sama, another bold villager, spoke up, ignoring the removal of the two lifeless bodies nearby. You have to see reason. That boy is dangerous. He should be eliminated before he becomes strong enough to wipe us out. Enough, Hiruzen barked, his patience clearly wearing thin. That boy you speak of is as human as any one of us in this room. And since you're a civilian, allow me to illustrate something simple. The Hokage retrieved a scroll from within his robe and held it out. This is a basic storage scroll. He placed it on the desk and formed a seal. With a puff of chakra, a kunai appeared atop the scroll. The weapon was sealed inside, and yet the scroll remained a scroll. Understand. Naruto is the vessel, not the beast. He holds the Kyubai's power, but he is not the Kyubai. Though a few began to comprehend, most of them continued to glare with hostility. Naruto would not be their savior. He would become their scapegoat. Observing the crowd's expressions with distaste, the Hokage made a firm decision. This is my decree. No one is to mention the Nine Tails or anything related to that night. Your children and grandchildren will not hear of it. Anyone caught spreading this knowledge will be punished severely. I trust you all grasp the gravity of the situation. The Hidden Leaf Village was still recovering, its people grieving their immense losses. Around 30,000 souls perished during the rampage, 10,000 of them being shinobi. Veterans were forced back into service due to manpower shortages. Hiruzen even had to recall mission operatives to ensure the village was protected from opportunistic enemies. Inside his office at the Hokage Tower, Hiruzen worked through piles of documents, while an infant Naruto slept peacefully nearby. In just a month, 36 attempts had already been made on the child's life, each foiled by either ANBU or Hiruzen himself. Despite the gag order, news of Naruto's status had spread uncontrollably. Those responsible for attacks were either imprisoned or, if found sober, executed. Lately, villagers began claiming intoxication as a legal loophole. Hiruzen was now forced to tread carefully to avoid civil unrest or giving enemy nations any excuse to strike. He too mourned, but targeting a child would solve nothing. Finding someone to care for Naruto proved even harder. He was still a newborn, requiring milk and proper care. But no wet nurse would go near him, some out of fear, others with violent intentions. There was one woman who offered to help. She had lost her own newborn during the Kyubai's attack due to the sheer intensity of its chakra. She lovingly accepted Naruto in her baby's place. But tragically, complications from her delivery and the trauma she suffered took her life within 3 weeks. The milk she had stored lasted only 2. Hiruzen had initially intended to reveal Naruto's heritage to the village. But now, seeing the hatred that festered, he knew it would only increase the risk. Making his lineage public would turn him into a target for enemies like Iwagakure and Kumagakure. For Naruto's safety, his parentage would remain a secret. Inside the depths of Naruto's subconscious, the Nine Tails paced back and forth in a recreated version of the Namikaze estate. The seal had been altered, granting her the ability to change her surroundings. After the first attempt on Naruto's life, she began working on projecting herself into the real world to protect him. She overheard Hiruzen's plan to place him in an orphanage, which deeply unsettled her. She knew how cruel those places could be, especially towards someone like Naruto. It was then that the Shinigami reappeared and offered aid. Kushina would send a soul back from the afterlife to act as a hidden protector within the orphanage. Someone who would look after Naruto until he was old enough to learn the truth about himself. A small, whiskered boy with golden hair and deep blue eyes wandered through Konoha's market streets. The looks thrown at him were cold and full of disdain. Some hurled cruel names: monster, killer. Naruto didn't know why they treated him this way, but a voice in his mind always told him to stay strong and ignore them. He had only a handful of people he trusted: The old man, leader of the village, was one. The second and third were a kind shopkeeper and his daughter who ran a ramen stand. Ikaraku's was the only place where Naruto felt normal. The fourth was Mai, a gentle caretaker at the orphanage who had raised him since infancy. Unbeknownst to Naruto, she had been sent by his real mother. And his fifth and most beloved was his mother, Kurama. She taught him how to read and write, soothed him when he cried, and in his dreams, brought him to a warm, comforting home. She'd always warned him not to mention her to the old man. Kurama reminded him constantly to avoid the villagers and stay within the orphanage grounds unless Mai accompanied him. But Naruto, being stubborn, had snuck out alone today. There was a fox mask at one shop that caught his eye last time, and he'd saved up to buy it. As he walked in, the bell above the door jingled. "Welcome," the shopkeeper stopped mid-sentence when she saw who had entered. Naruto smiled politely, stepping forward, but her expression twisted into fury. "Get out. Please, I'm not here to cause trouble, I just want to buy something." "Leave now." Naruto's eyes filled with tears, but he stood his ground. "I just want to buy that fox mask," he whispered, pointing to it. The clerk sneered and hurled the mask at him. It hit his face hard, knocking him backward. Wincing, he got up and took out his coin pouch to pay. "I don't want your money, demon. Get out before I make you regret coming here." Terrified, Naruto snatched his coins, grabbed the mask, and ran as fast as he could, only stopping once he'd left the marketplace behind. Inside the seal, Kurama's heart ached as she watched him cry. He was only 3, and yet already so burdened. No matter what he did, the villagers spat on him, shouted, even hurt him. And attacks still came, less frequent but no less real. Sometimes mobs even chased him through the streets. "That's enough, 3 years should be plenty for them to mourn. How can they praise me as a hero while treating my child like a monster?" A furious voice echoed as its owner took form in the mindscape. "As I've already said, humans rarely see past their own perspective," Kurama said sharply to Minato. "What still infuriates me is how Hiruzen focused on Naruto being a Jinchuriki rather than highlighting his heritage. Sure, the third meant well. He wanted the elders to understand Naruto's role in keeping me sealed away. But he should have told the village who Naruto's parents were. That alone could have changed how they treated him. I don't even know how to respond to that. I'm already disgusted with this village and everyone in it, except the Ikarakus. May the heavens give me strength. My tolerance for Konoha is running thin. Let's just pray Naruto comes to see that the village will never accept him. I already believe it. The will of fire has gone out. Once the third passes on, the leaf will collapse. I don't see anyone fit to become the fifth. Naruto needs to understand that the village is out for his blood. They want him gone. Even with the Sandame's explanation of the seal, they still treat him like a threat. He has to wake up to the reality of Konoha before he ends up seriously hurt. Don't worry, he'll understand eventually. Let him stay innocent for now. Anyway, he's returned to the orphanage. You should go. He'll arrive in a few moments." Minato gave a nod and disappeared. The same day that Mai was assigned to watch over Naruto, the Shinigami released Minato from her gut. Since Naruto's seal had been tampered with, Minato was effectively residing inside his son's consciousness. He wasn't truly trapped, though. He could come and go from the afterlife and Naruto's inner realm as he pleased. The only thing stopping him from revealing himself was the Reaper's command. Until Naruto turned 6, neither parent could make contact. For now, all Minato could do was wait. Moments later, Naruto appeared at the estate's entrance. "Mom, I'm home," he called as he walked in. Kurama greeted him with a tight hug. After enveloping him, she gently checked his face for bruises, though she knew he'd already healed. "Naruto, how many times have I told you not to leave the orphanage without Mai? Look what that shop owner did to you." "I'm okay, really, and look, I got the mask I wanted." The fox spirit sighed, ruffling his hair. "All right. Time to hit the books. But Mom, can we read something with pictures today? All those symbols make my head spin." "Fine, go place your mask in your room and meet me in the library." 1 year later, a full year had passed since Naruto went out to buy the fox mask. Ever since, he never left the orphanage without Mai accompanying him. Hiruzen had been watching through his crystal ball that day. After witnessing the incident, he added another ANBU unit to Naruto's security detail. At present, 3 squads were assigned to quietly watch over him. For someone just 4 years old, Naruto was displaying remarkable intelligence. He'd already figured out that Kurama wasn't his actual mother. Kurama was aware that Naruto knew, but nothing was ever said between them. Naruto still saw her as his mom, and she still loved him like a son. Since he was 3, Kurama had been schooling him in general knowledge. By now, Naruto could read and write fluently. He was also learning English as a secondary language, with Japanese being his primary. He had even read about the origins of the world, of gods, semi-divine beings, mortals, and shinobi. Kurama was adamant he memorize everything about the divine hierarchy. He didn't question her. Deep down, he knew it mattered. When Naruto turned for the previous month, his mother began training him in the fundamentals of shinobi life, what ninja were, their duties, and their purpose. At the moment, Naruto was in the large playground of the orphanage, throwing kunai and shuriken at a row of 3 training dummies that Mai had set up. He was so focused that he didn't notice he was being watched. Just as he landed a kunai dead center in the dummy's chest, he heard clapping. Turning around, he saw Mai applauding proudly. Beside her stood the Hokage and 2 unfamiliar adults. "My knee." "Gramps," Naruto shouted, rushing toward them excitedly. He shifted nervously when he noticed the 2 strangers, mumbling a quiet greeting. "How are you today, Naruto?" the Hokage asked kindly. "I'm great, Gramps. Did you see? I hit all the targets." "I did. You did a fantastic job," Hiruzen praised, patting his head. "Now I want to introduce you to some friends. This is Nagi and Emi Laliot. They've spoken to me and said they'd like to adopt you." "How does that sound?" Naruto's eyes lit up with joy as he turned to the couple. "Really? You want to adopt me?" he asked, voice trembling with hope. It meant everything to him. No one else had ever wanted him. Other kids from the orphanage had been adopted, but he'd been left behind. "Yes, Naruto, we'd love to have you as part of our family," Emi replied warmly. Naruto squealed with joy and began bouncing around. "Come on, Naru-chan, let's go pack your things," Mai said, taking his hand and leading him back inside. "But Ni-chan, what about you?" "What do you mean, sweetie? I won't see you anymore." She stopped and knelt to face him, looking into his eyes. "Naru-chan, just because you're adopted doesn't mean I'm disappearing. I'll visit you every week, I promise." That made him smile again. He nodded, and they went into his room. 1 year and 11 months later, 1 week before Naruto's 6th birthday, news spread quickly through the village that the demon boy had been adopted. 2 days after Naruto officially became a Laliot, the village began to whisper. Nagi and Emi Laliot were respected veteran ninja who'd lost their 2 sons, both elite jonin, during the Nine Tails assault. Most of Konoha assumed the couple had only taken in Naruto to get revenge for their children. The Hokage knew of these rumors and ordered the ANBU to stay vigilant. But nearly 2 years had passed, and Naruto was still alive and thriving. The suspicion that the Laliots intended to kill him had mostly died out. Naruto Laliot was now in the backyard of his adoptive home, practicing chakra control. His new parents, being war-seasoned ninja, had begun training him early. Despite being just 5 years old, his skills were already equivalent to a top academy student or a fresh genin. After maintaining 4 spinning leaves on his forehead for an hour, he collapsed onto the ground, exhausted. "Dinner's ready, Naruto," Emi called from the kitchen. "Come on, eat up, you must be starving." Naruto sprinted inside and plopped down at the table. "What's for dinner, Mom?" Emi grinned too sweetly, which made Kurama anxious inside. "Tonight we're having demon stew." "Naru-chan, get away." Naruto heard her voice, but before he could react, Nagi appeared behind him and slapped a seal onto his back. What's happening?" Naruto cried. "Don't play dumb, monster, you took our sons from us," Emi screamed, brandishing a knife. "I didn't hurt anyone," the boy cried. He tried to use chakra to escape, but nothing happened. "You're a creature, a killer, don't even try running. Your chakra's sealed." "This is the end, fox brat," Nagi said, drawing his katana. Inside his mind, Kurama was screaming his name in fear and anguish. She could see and feel everything that was happening. Her heart shattered with every ounce of Naruto's rising panic. But no matter how loudly she called, he didn't respond. "For years we waited for this moment," Emi snarled. "When we took you in, we couldn't act immediately. We had to wait until the Hokage dropped his guard. Now he has, and you're finally ours." "But you're not really going to kill me, are you? You've said so many times that you cared for me," Naruto whimpered, tears trailing down his face. "Care?" Nagi sneered. "We never felt anything for you. Our love was only for our true sons, the ones you took from us." "But, it was all a show. Now die, monster." Naruto shrieked in agony as Naga's blade pierced into his abdomen. Aagh, stop please. Emmy smiled, delighting in his suffering as she drove a knife into his shoulder. No, please don't. Nagi yanked the sword free and stabbed again, this time near Naruto's lungs. Someone please help, Naruto gasped, struggling for air. No one's coming, you freak. We know when your ANBU guards rotate. We've got 3 more minutes before they get here. Even if they catch us, you'll already be dead. They'll call us heroes. We'll be known as the ones who ended the demon. Naruto couldn't process the words through the searing pain. Every second dragged on like forever as they continued their assault. He collapsed, curling into himself to shield his face. AAH was the last thing he screamed before everything went dark. Just as Nagi raised his weapon for the final blow, he and Emmy were hurled against the far wall by an unseen force. An ANBU in a weasel-patterned mask materialized before them. The couple's screams of panic were short-lived as they slumped unconscious from a genjutsu. Another ANBU, wearing a dog mask, approached Naruto's bleeding form and gently lifted him. Without wasting a moment, he carried the boy to the hospital. Inside Naruto's mindscape, Kurama was already mending Naruto's body when he was rushed away. As Naruto's spirit appeared in the mindscape, she caught him in a tight embrace. I'm so sorry, Kurama murmured, gently stroking his head through her tears. Naruto clung to her, crying into her chest. From a distance, Kushina and Minato silently watched, their own tears falling. Kushina sorrowfully turned away, as Naruto drifted into sleep in Kurama's arms. Minato remained, standing guard as Kurama carried the boy to a room in the mindscape. Yomi no Kuni, Land of Shadows, Kagatsuchi, the Shinigami called. Yes, my lady. Retrieve the souls of Nagi and Emmy Laliot. Now. Right away, Shinigami-sama. Back in the human realm, Laliot residents Weasel and another ANBU in a cat mask were finishing restraining the assailants, preparing to hand them over to interrogations. Neither sensed the black vortex that appeared silently behind them in the dining area. A young woman stepped from the void and lightly tapped their shoulders. The 2 ANBU jumped back and drew their weapons, alerting the rest of the ANBU surrounding the home. Unfazed, the newcomer conjured a blade from the surrounding shadows. In an instant, she plunged it into Naga's chest. Before the ANBU could act, she had already stabbed Emmy through the heart. The sword absorbed their souls and vanished into the ether. Surrounded by a dozen ANBU, the woman didn't flinch. She lifted her hands and opened another portal. The moment the ANBU lunged, their strikes passed through her. She vanished before they could react further. Konoha Hospital, how is he? Asked the Hokage urgently. He's stable now, a medic said. We've treated his critical injuries. The Ninetales is assisting with recovery. We're preparing to move him to a secure, private room. He should rest undisturbed for at least a day. Hiruzen exhaled slowly in relief and accompanied the staff as they wheeled Naruto away. 3 ANBU teams were assigned to guard Naruto, 2 outside the room and 1 concealed within. Konoha Interrogation Center, Inoichi, report. I've extracted their memories, Hokage-sama. At precisely 7 in the evening, Emmy Laliot called Naruto for dinner. He just finished training and took a seat at the table. The Yamanaka described everything that transpired, recounting the couple's words and actions exactly. I understand. Thank you, Inoichi. Weasel, your report. My squad had just rotated in when we felt Naruto's chakra spike, then plummet. We rushed in and found him unconscious on the floor, while the couple was still attacking him. Inuyutechu struck them into a wall, and I trapped them with a genjutsu. As Inuyutechu rushed Naruto to the hospital, Kat and I restrained the attackers and prepared them for interrogation. That's when a woman appeared behind us. We didn't sense her coming. She tapped our shoulders, and when we turned, she drew a shadow blade and killed them both before we could respond. She phased through our attacks and escaped through a portal. Did you recognize her? Yes, Hokage-sama. It was my Naruto's caretaker. The Hokage's eyes narrowed. He puffed on his pipe and stood in silence. Find her. We've searched the entire village, Hokage-sama. The barrier core reports no one entered or left the village at that time or since. Naruto's mindscape, why? Naruto asked, gazing at his reflection in the mirror. Why me? Kurama entered, sitting on the bed and motioning for him to come closer. Naru-chan, she said softly. It's time you understand why Konoha hates you. Naruto nodded and sat beside her, listening intently. Kurama began explaining the night he was born, but withheld his parents' identities, promising to reveal them on his 6th birthday. She taught him about tailed beasts and Jinchuriki, explaining that his mother had once been her host. When she finished, Naruto sat quietly for a long time before hugging her tightly. It wasn't your fault, was it, Ka-chan? It was that masked man. If not for him, my parents would still be here. You're right, I was a victim too. But the villagers won't see it that way. They'll always see you as me. That's why I'm going to help you. From now on, you'll be able to sense emotions, especially those who wish you harm. Konoha Hospital. Naruto remained unconscious for 2 days, awakening on the third. He opened his eyes to the sound of machines beeping. Looking around, he saw white walls and felt an IV in his arm and a mask on his face. Panicked, he ripped off the mask and IV. He felt unfamiliar chakra signatures in the room but saw no one. His eyes darted between the door and the windows. Gathering chakra to his feet, he sprinted to the door, only to find it locked. He jumped away as he heard movement outside and ran toward the window. The door clicked open and in stepped the Hokage. Naruto-kun, Hiruzen said. Naruto flinched and backed away, not recognizing him. Tears ran down his cheeks as he fled to the corner of the room, curling into a ball and screaming for help. Naruto, the Hokage cried, rushing to him. It's me, please, you're safe now. No one's going to hurt you. Naruto, settle down. The Hokage's words were ignored as the boy continued to wail uncontrollably. Enough. In frustration, Hiruzen slapped Naruto's cheek, forcing him back to his senses. The old man exhaled in relief as the boy finally quieted. What he failed to realize was the emotional damage that action caused. He hadn't considered Naruto's already delicate mental state. Naruto's heart ached. His teary gaze met the Hokage's face. His precious Jiji, one of the few people he had trusted, had just struck him. He hit me, he actually hit me. Just like everyone else, that's right, he's the one who handed me over to them, so they could end me but they failed, and now he's done it himself, but maybe he still cares, right? Or has it all been fake? Does he want me dead too? Hidden Leaf Village, 2 days later, 2 days before Naruto's birthday, Hokage's office. Jiji, why does everyone in the village hate me? What did I ever do? Naruto asked. Already aware of the truth, Kurama had told him, but he needed to hear it from the old man. If Hiruzen gave him the truth, he'd still count him among his few cherished people. If he lied, then Naruto would know the Hokage wanted him gone like the rest. The Hokage watched him for a moment before responding softly. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, I truly don't know. Do you know anything about my parents? Can you tell me something about them? Naruto questioned again. He had asked this many times before and knew what to expect. Still, a part of him hoped the answer might be different this time. I've told you before, Naruto-kun, Hiruzen said with a sigh. I don't know who your parents were. Naruto could see the guilt in the old man's expression. Deep down, he felt crushed. What remained of his trust was fading fast. With one final effort, he tried again. But you're the Hokage, how could you not know? Hiruzen merely looked at the child, guilt written all over his face. He said nothing. Naruto's shoulders dropped. All right, sorry for getting upset. I'll be going now. Before Hiruzen could say anything, Naruto turned and dashed out of the office. He didn't have a destination, he just wanted to get away. The old man, no, the Hokage, was no longer his Jiji. He was just another adult who wanted him gone. Eventually, Naruto slowed his pace as he caught his breath. It wasn't until then that he realized he'd wandered into the market district, one of the busiest places in the village. Look, it's the demon brat, someone shouted. Naruto's eyes widened and he bolted again. It's running away, get it, kill that monster. And just like that, the chase began. Thanks to his ninja training, Naruto managed to evade the civilian crowd. Only the shinobi were left chasing him now, some genin, chunin, and a few jounin. Naru-chan, over here. Someone whispered from a nearby alley. His sharp ears caught the voice, and he recognized it instantly. Without hesitation, he turned into the alley. He yelped in surprise when a hand yanked him into a swirling vortex of blackness. Moments later, his pursuers arrived to find nothing. Damn it. Where'd the brat go? Namikaze residence. Naruto braced for pain as the hand grabbed him, but instead, he felt warm arms wrap around him in a comforting embrace. Are you all right? The rescuer asked as she let go. Why yeah, he said, looking up. His eyes lit up. Ni-chan, you saved me, Mai smiled, hugging him tighter. I'm sorry I took so long. It's okay, they didn't hurt me this time. I'm not just talking about today. I mean those two who adopted you and tried to kill you. I failed you, Naruto. I was assigned by your real mother to watch over you, but I made a mistake. I believed the Liots could be trusted. I was wrong. You nearly died. Wait, my real mom. Yes, Naruto-chan, she sent me to protect you. But I thought she passed away. She did. Then how, did you work for her before I was born? No. I met her after she passed. That doesn't really make sense, Naruto muttered in confusion. Mai chuckled and patted his hair. You'll understand everything on your birthday, I promise. Okay, Ni-chan, I trust you. Also, don't blame yourself over those two. They're gone. You knew. I overheard the villagers. They were found dead the same night they attacked me. I don't know who did it, but if I find out, I'll thank them. If it's a girl, I might even kiss her. Mai grinned and pinched his cheeks. You're welcome, Naruto-chan. Wait, what? Now where's my kiss? She teased. You're the one who did it. Yes. Wow, Naruto whispered in awe before tackling her into a hug and kissing her cheek. Thanks, Ni-chan. You're welcome, Naruto-chan. Where are we? Whose house is this? This is your true home where your parents once lived. My real house. Yes, the property is layered in seals. No one knows we're here. But enough questions for now. You'll get all the answers soon. How about some ramen? I bet you're starving. Time skip night before October 10th. Namikaze residence. Naruto stayed inside while Mai, disguised with a transformation technique, went out to gather supplies. During those 2 days, she gave Naruto space while staying alert to anything outside. Secretly, she was also applying multiple layers of complex seals around the home. It was necessary, as 3 immense spiritual energies would soon converge there. Naruto waited in the lounge, wearing a pale blue kimono Mai had given him. He glanced at the clock. 10 minutes left until his birthday. 10 minutes until he turned 6. That's when he heard Kurama's voice inside his mind. Naruto-chan, make a shadow clone. Perplexed by the request, Naruto obeyed. He formed the hand seal and called the jutsu's name. But instead of a clone, Kurama appeared in her human form, dressed in a bright orange-red kimono. Ka-chan, what's happening? It's time for you to meet your real parents, she said warmly. Just then, a black vortex swirled open in the center of the room. Black and white mist spilled out, blanketing the room in cold air. The mist solidified into the image of a cloaked figure with a scythe. Naruto's breath hitched. Shinigami, am I going to meet my parents because I'm dying? He wondered. But the figure shifted, transforming into a red-haired woman in a scarlet kimono. She reached out her hand, conjuring a glowing yellow orb. The orb slowly turned into the shape of a blonde man in a blue kimono. Naruto recognized him immediately, the 4th Hokage. Hello, Naruto-chan, the woman said with a tender smile. Shinigami-sama, Naruto replied, confused. Both figures laughed gently. You've grown up so well. Happy birthday, my son, they said in unison before pulling him into an embrace. Son? Yes, Naruto-chan. You're our child, the woman confirmed, as if reading his mind. I'm the 4th Hokage's son and the Shinigamis, I'm half god. We understand, Naruto-kun. That's a lot to take in, the 4th said with a chuckle. Let's sit down, your mother and I will explain everything. Okay, Ka-chan, Naruto mumbled, making the woman's smile even brighter. For the next couple of hours, Minato and Kushina shared their story with their son. They began by revealing their names and who they truly were. They recounted their lives, how their paths crossed, and how their love blossomed. This led to their marriage and eventually to Naruto's arrival into the world. Kushina also confided in Naruto about her past as the former Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, a secret they kept hidden. Then the conversation shifted to the night of his birth, where they explained how Kushina transformed into the Shinigami and how Minato's soul was freed from within her. They showed Naruto the memories from the moment he was born up until the time when Sarutobi took him from the embrace of his deceased parents. At that moment, a wave of fury began to shake Naruto. He knew my parents. He was aware of the Nine Tails. I asked him countless times, yet he never told me. Naruto-kun, we deeply regret the hardships you've endured. But remember, you are our child and we love you dearly. I no longer see myself as Konoha's Hokage. I made the grave error of placing the village above my family. The same village I sacrificed myself for betrayed me, Minato said solemnly. Listen well, Naruto-chan. Whatever path you choose, we stand by you. If you decide to bring ruin upon Konoha, we will gladly stand with you, Kushina added, a sly smile curling on her lips. Naruto was taken aback by his parents' words. He had expected them to urge him to forgive the village and behave. Instead, he grinned wickedly, pleased to learn they too harbored resentment for Konoha. One more thing. It's time you formally meet your spirit guardian, Kushina said, gesturing toward Mai, who was seated beside Kurama. Mai acknowledged with a nod as her body began to glow and shift. Moments later, where she once sat appeared a black claymore. Kurama rose and handed the weapon to Naruto. Naru-chan, this is Kagatsuchi. You already knew her as Mai. She's the one I sent to watch over you ever since that old fool Sarutobi left you at the orphanage. Since you've studied deities before, know that she truly is the original Kagatsuchi. The origin of death, Kushina explained, as Naruto took the sword from Kurama and examined it closely. The blade was a sleek black reminiscent of obsidian, yet it was far from fragile like glass, stronger than any mortal weapon. From the pommel to the guard, red intricate symbols and designs from the realm of the dead adorned it. The front guard bore the kanji for beginning, while the back showed the kanji for death. The fuller featured delicate gold markings contrasting the red. The blade itself shimmered with a dark aura and appeared razor-sharp. At its tip, two glaring red eyes glowed on either side. As Naruto finished inspecting it, the sword pulsed with light. Instinctively, he laid it down gently on the floor. The weapon transformed once more, resuming the form of Mai. It's an honor to finally introduce myself to you, Naruto-sama. As your spirit guardian, I'll be your ally in combat and beyond. The sword is my original form, and this is my human guise. I can also shift into various weapons. Only you can wield me, anyone else who tries will perish instantly, their souls consumed by me. I already hold 2 souls inside the Liots. Shinigami-sama will explain about soul capturing and the extent of your powers. My powers? Yes, Naru-chan. When I became the Shinigami, I foresaw your future while cradling you as a baby. I granted you abilities for you to use. I witnessed how Konoha treated you despite your efforts to protect them. That vision was true. Many have tried to take your life. The latest attempt almost succeeded, Kushina began. As the Shinigami's son, I bestowed upon you powers worthy of your title. Your primary ability is control over darkness. You can manipulate shadows, shaping them into solid forms as you desire. You'll also be able to conjure darkness even in the brightest places. Additionally, you will see perfectly in the dark, and your other senses sharpen there. Like Mai, you can shadow travel. Your shadow powers will dwarf even the strongest Nara's skills, but training is still needed. Mai will guide you. My second gift is a unique bloodline, a Dijutsu. Similar to the Uchiha's Sharingan, it has levels to unlock. Yours activated 2 hours ago, as I willed you to awaken your powers on your 6th birthday. I haven't named your Dijutsu, that honor is yours. Your Dijutsu has 6 stages. The first, which you've unlocked, lets you see and speak with spirits of the dead. You can also sense life energy. With practice, your detection range grows. The second stage lets you command spirits to perform tasks without physical contact. You can also identify whose life energy you sense. The third stage allows you to command spirits to act with physical contact. It also reveals if a life force is dying, ill, or healthy. At the fourth stage, for the price of 6 human lives, you can temporarily revive the dead. The duration depends on your mastery, up to 60 years. They can still die from sickness, age, or battle. Once they pass a second time, they cannot be revived again. Also, you can see the exact time and date of a living being's death. The fifth stage, also costing 6 souls, lets you permanently bring someone back. This is limited to 6 souls at once. Reviving a 7th means one of the 6 must return to the dead. Like the temporary revival, they can die again, but cannot be revived a second time. Remember, Naru-chan, some souls cannot be revived and others require my approval. You can't just bring anyone back. Sadly, your father is among those who cannot return. The 6th and final stage grants you life drain and soul drain abilities, requiring physical contact with the target. Once you reach the 6th level, the souls inside Kagatsuchi can be summoned to obey your commands and protect you regardless of previous relations. You can also restore their physical forms, but only for 6 souls at a time. Finally, you can send their souls to the afterlife when you wish. Wow, Naruto could only utter. Indeed, but that's not all. There are things shinobi can't do that you'll learn from Mai. As Shinigami, I'm considered a god. Gods and mortals have laws, one being limited interactions. But don't worry, Naru-chan, your father and I will still guide you. Kushina comforted him. Now, is there anything you want? A birthday wish. Unfortunately, we can only remain with you briefly, from 3 to 4 in the morning. Today is special since it's your 6th birthday. Maybe we could watch a movie together. What movie, dear? Naruto's eyes gleamed with mischief, making Kushina's Shinigami side proud. Konohagakure October 10, 3 a.m. Task Force members Uchiha Rito and his partner Nagi patrolled the village. Rito had served for 10 years. Nagi was on his very first patrol. As they passed near the walls toward a forest, they heard strange sounds. Nagi, inexperienced and nervous, immediately thought of ghosts. Pull yourself together, kid, ghosts aren't real. I've been on patrol here for 10 years. What we heard is probably intruders or something else. Rito said as he started moving forward. They tracked the sound through the woods until they reached an open space. There, they spotted a little girl who looked no older than 5. Her back was to them. She clutched a teddy bear and softly hummed. What in the world is this kid doing out so early? Nagi wondered. Who's the careless parent that left a child here? Rito thought aloud as he approached her. The girl stopped humming as she sensed them near. Are you my mommy and daddy? She asked without turning around. No, kid, we're from the police force. Don't worry, we'll help you find your family, Rito answered. What are you doing here anyway? Nagi asked as he stepped closer. If you're not my parents, go away, the girl shouted. That's not something you should say, kid, we just want to help, Nagi said, clearly annoyed, as he grabbed her shoulder and turned her around. Both Uchihas froze at the sight of the girl's face, or rather, the lack of one. Her face was completely missing. Nagi released her immediately, gasping loudly. Then, the girl vanished into thin air. Recovering from the shock, Rito activated his Sharingan and whispered, Kai, sending chakra to Nagi to dispel what he thought was a genjutsu. Suddenly, the girl's humming returned, but this time, it echoed from 6 different directions. Elsewhere in the village, Izumo yawned out of boredom as he stared at the dark forest beyond the main gate. His partner Kotsu was finishing a crossword puzzle and also looked uninterested. This is so dull. It's 3 in the morning and we're stuck here. Who would even come by at this hour? Kotsu complained. Famous last words. Izumo narrowed his eyes and noticed 6 white-hooded figures approaching the gate. He nudged Kotsu to alert him. Halt, state your business, Izumo called out. Instead of replying in any known language, the figures emitted strange high-pitched noises. What nation do you come from? Please remove your hoods for identification, Kotsu requested, hoping they understood. The cloaked figures complied, pulling back their hoods. Izumo and Kotsu gasped. The figures had no heads. Sarutobi Hiruzen was asleep at his desk, buried under piles of documents. For the past 3 days, the village's demands had grown louder. As the 10th of October neared, many were calling for Naruto's execution. Hiruzen hadn't seen the boy since their last meeting. Even his crystal orb couldn't locate Naruto. The Hokage assumed Naruto was hiding from the angry villagers. He couldn't blame him, considering the mobs. It saddened him, especially since Naruto had become distant after the Liots incident. Exhausted, Hiruzen had finally fallen into a deep sleep. A sudden chill awoke him. The room's temperature plummeted rapidly. Hiruzen, a soft, eerie voice whispered. He tried to conjure fire to warm himself but failed. Hiruzen, the voice repeated, colder and louder now, as if promising doom. Just then, the temperature normalized as an ANBU burst into the room. Hokage-sama. Hiruzen studied the ANBU's tense expression. ANBU rarely showed emotions unless something serious had occurred. Hokage-sama, disturbing reports are coming in from around the village. Patrols have spotted people in groups with no heads, faces, or limbs wandering around. They don't appear to be attacking. Another ANBU appeared instantly via Shunshin, about to report, but they were interrupted by a scream from outside. Skletons. That's, the ANBU began. Exactly what I was going to report. What is happening? The Hokage shouted. Alert all ANBU and Jounin immediately, we may be under attack. He pointed at the second ANBU. As they left, Hiruzen checked the village through his crystal orb. Thin wisps of smoke dotted the landscape, likely from villagers trying to burn the skeletal figures. He knew panic would spread soon. This isn't good, muttered the third Hokage. Someone sound the alarm. By 4 in the morning at the Namikaze estate, Naruto and his family watched the chaos unfold on a 360-degree holographic display. For an hour, Naruto's mother had summoned restless souls from the underworld to terrorize the village. They amused themselves watching villagers set fires and panic. Some who escaped to the safe bunkers fled again upon seeing the dead. Only Ikarakus were left untouched. The Shinigami had instructed the spirits not to appear to those who treated Naruto well. Time's up. Kushina snapped her fingers, and the souls vanished back to the underworld. That was entertaining, Naruto said. Indeed. I never imagined watching the village burn would be so enjoyable, Minato added. After what they did to your son, it's no surprise you want to see it in ruins, Kurama remarked. True. It's our turn to go, Naru-chan. Your parents and I will visit every Saturday between 3 and 4 in the morning, Kushina said as she opened a dark portal. Naruto hugged and kissed his parents goodbye. After they left, he yawned. Time for bed, Naru-chan, Kurama said, gently lifting him and carrying him to his room with Kagatsuchi following. Poke, giggle, poke, poke, more giggles. Naruto awoke to a cold sensation tracing his whisker marks and soft giggles. Opening his eyes, he saw the ghost of a red-haired girl hovering near. She squeaked when she noticed he was awake and looking at her, then vanished. Huh, what was that? You can see and hear spirits now, remember? Oh, right, Naruto muttered. Naruto-sama, how did you sleep? Mai asked as she entered with breakfast. Great, can't wait to see my parents again on Saturday. How's everything outside? Outside Namikaze estate, small plumes of smoke lingered. The villagers had spent the morning dousing fires that strangely resisted water and sand. They guessed it would take another hour or two to extinguish them fully. Mysteriously, nobody had died despite the chaos. Reports said people were trapped in burning buildings and caught in stampedes, yet no injuries were recorded. Buildings bore the damage, but the villagers remained physically unharmed, though mentally shaken by what they had witnessed. What the people of Konoha didn't realize was that those who were believed to have perished had indeed died, but the Shinigami intervened, preventing them from passing on to the afterlife. Instead, they were simply sent back. The third Hokage ordered the village to be put under strict lockdown. No one was allowed to enter or leave. Throughout the streets, Anbu and Jonin were seen patrolling and questioning residents. Meanwhile, Chunin were busy extinguishing fires, and Genin assisted in distributing supplies. Inside the Namikaze residence, all right, starting today we'll begin your training with your dark release, Mai, known now as Kagatsuchi, declared after revealing her true identity. Channeling the darkness around you is much like connecting with your inner self to unlock chakra. However, your darkness element doesn't link to your chakra pathways. It uses a different system entirely. Simply put, you possess an additional source of power. At birth, you had one system, then you gained another when the Nine Tails was sealed within you. The third came when Shinigami-sama bestowed her powers upon you. Your first system is your original chakra, what we'll call your human chakra. The second, obtained from Kurama, is your demonic chakra, a darker energy running alongside the first. Your third system is your dark element, completely black and far stronger than the other two combined. We'll refer to it as your dark chakra. Before we start, create a cage bunchen and pour half of your human and demon chakra into it. Kurama will work with your original chakra, while I'll train you on controlling your darkness. Naruto nodded and followed her instructions. His clone moved to the secondary training area and created another bunchen for Kurama to manifest. Kagatsuchi waved her hand, and suddenly the entire training ground was enveloped in darkness. Good. To unlock your dark chakra pathways, you must meditate. Focus on your dark feelings, sense the shadows surrounding you. If it's hard to grasp, think of your parents. Recall how the villagers treated you, how the third Hokage deceived you. Remember the Liots trying to kill you. Recall last night when you finally confronted your parents and learned the truth. Remember the thrill of watching the villagers scramble in fear. Let the shadows surround you. Let the darkness consume you. Naruto closed his eyes and summoned every memory since his birth, every scowl, insult, and isolation. The third Hokage's filthy lies. Gradually, he felt the void envelop him. Then he recalled the good moments, Mai's support, Kurama watching over him like a mother, and finally meeting his parents. The joy of discovering his powers surged within him. The swirling darkness embraced him, and Naruto welcomed it with open arms. Kagatsuchi observed as the training ground returned to normal. The darkness moved to Naruto, making him appear godlike, his body radiating a dark glowing aura. Naruto opened his eyes and stood. Raising his left arm, he clenched his fist. A shadow tendril emerged and formed into a fist mirroring his own. Well done, Naruto-sama. You've unlocked your dark potential and gained good control. Before we advance with the rest of your dark abilities, I will first teach you the art of shadow traveling. Time skip. 1 week later, Naruto was meditating, struggling to deepen his connection to his dark element. You lack darkness. Naruto opened his eyes to find a red-haired girl sitting cross-legged nearby. What? I said, you lack darkness. To strengthen your hold, you must experience and embrace more negative feelings. Something blocks you from drawing dark chakra endlessly. You need to return to your homeland first. Naruto stared blankly. He didn't understand. The girl slapped her forehead in realization. Ah, I forgot you don't speak our language. Language? Yes, like you, I'm in Uzumaki. Our clan has its own tongue. Naruto's eyes lit up. You're in Uzumaki. Are there others here? The ghost stared long and unsettlingly. I can't say, you'll have to discover that yourself. But 2 clues: learn our language and visit the ruins of our home, Uchiha. Who are you? Forgive me, I should have introduced myself. I'm Uzumaki Kasumi. I was a genin, about to become chunin when I died at 14. That's all I can share for now. I can teach you the basics of our language, but for faster learning, ask Shinigami-sama, your mother. Time skip. 7 weeks later, Naruto had mastered shadow traveling, but only up to 600 meters. Along the way, he befriended several spirits. 3 days after meeting Kasumi, Naruto asked his mother about their clan. She explained Uchiha and the Uzumaki lineage. He learned he also inherited the Uzumaki chakra chains, though his were jet black instead of golden. It didn't bother him. His goal was to explore Uchiha's ruins and uncover his ancestry. Packing for a week-long stay, Naruto prepared to travel to Uzu with Kagatsuchi assisting in shadow travel. Before departing, he decided to make a brief appearance before the third Hokage. He would eat at Ikaraku first. Hokage's office Hiruzen was concerned. Normally, Naruto visited every weekend, but 2 months had passed since he last saw the boy. That day, after paperwork, Hiruzen used his break to gaze into the crystal ball, searching for Naruto. His hope was rewarded when he spotted Naruto eating at Ikaraku. Hiruzen summoned his ANBU and instructed them to escort Naruto to the office once he finished his meal. Ikaraku Naruto was aware the Hokage sent ANBU for him but didn't react, focusing instead on his ramen. Your ramen's delicious as always, old man. Here, keep the change. Stay lovely, I am Chan. I'm off, you're always welcome, Naruto-kun. Visit anytime. When I'm strong enough to defend myself, I will. Konoha's not exactly friendly, so I must stay under the radar. Uchiha nodded sadly and handed him a package. Here for your training, no charge. Thanks, I'm leaving now. At that moment, ANBU appeared at the stand. Naruto-san, you're invited to the Hokage's office. All right, lead the way. The ANBU placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder and they shunshined to the office. Hokage's office Sarutobi smiled as the ANBU returned with Naruto. The boy had changed since their last meeting. He'd grown taller and looked more athletic. His clothes were entirely black, and on his back rested a sword Sarutobi had never seen before. Naruto, my boy, how are you? It's been a while. Sit down. Naruto nodded and sat opposite the Hokage. Hokage-sama. Hokage-sama, what happened to Jiji? Sarutobi and the ANBU thought. He's different now, Hiruzen mused. Where have you been these past 2 months? I'm well, Hokage-sama. I stayed at my parents' home, hiding while training. I used random henge whenever I went out for supplies. Of course. How did I miss that? Sarutobi nodded, recalling the Liots. Understood, you may go, Naruto-kun. If you need anything, my office is open. Thank you, Hokage-sama. I'll leave now. Naruto bowed and exited, heading to a secluded street to seek a shadow for traveling to Uchiha. As he prepared, voices reached his ears. You were dispatched by the Uzukage, a voice announced. Naruto turned and saw 4 masked figures, immediately recognizing them as ANBU, though their masks were unlike any he had seen before. Accompanying them was an elderly man wrapped in bandages. At first, Naruto thought the old man was staring intently at him, but then another voice spoke behind him. Yes, Kasumi responded. What is happening here? Naruto questioned. Konoha will not provide aid to your village. Your mission is doomed. I have already delivered the scroll to the third Hokage. He will send assistance. Whirlpool is allied with the Leaf. You lack the right to intervene. I am Shimura Danzo, founder of Root. I hold the authority. Your clan was condemned the moment the Alliance decided to erase it. I will ensure Konoha sends no help. We cannot sacrifice Leaf lives for your village. And you, girl, will not return to see your beloved home again. You will perish here. Danzo bellowed as he strode away. The four-root ANBU drew their tantus, ready to strike. Golden chains erupted from Kasumi's body in defense. She managed to kill one and disable another, but soon felt her body overtaken by a foreign will. One of the root ANBU removed his gloves and touched the now immobilized girl. Kasumi realized the contact unleashed lethal microscopic insects rapidly spreading through her body. Within moments, the Uzumaki Chunin lay dead. Naruto blinked as the vision faded and his surroundings returned to normal. No one was around. "What?" he murmured. He stood lost in thought, trying to comprehend why he had witnessed Kasumi's death and what the old man Danzo meant. His mind drifted back to Uzumaki, reminding himself of his mission to go there. Clearing his head, he moved into the shadows. Before he could teleport, Kurama stopped him. "Naruto-kun, hold on." "Mother, what is it?" "The third Hokage will assume you've remained inside the Laliot residence. Return first to the Namikaze mansion. We'll create a clone to stay here in your place, just in case the monkey decides to check in." "Understood. Namikaze estate, the clone we're making is special. It can perform jutsus and regenerate chakra. Plus, my consciousness will be linked to it. It won't dissipate unless it runs out of chakra, which is impossible, or you will it." It was fortunate the estate was heavily sealed. Otherwise, outsiders would sense Kurama's chakra. The procedure took about 5 minutes. Kurama transferred 50% of her chakra to the clone. "Why does it look exhausted?" Naruto asked, watching the clone. "It still needs to recover your human chakra. So far, it only has mine. Don't worry about it now. It's time for you to return to your home village." Uzumaki Ruins. Uzumaki was famed for its unique layout. The whirlpools encircling the island acted as natural defense, protecting the village from naval attacks. But the whirlpools that once churned were now still. The surrounding waters were calm. From the shadows near the partially ruined gate, a blond boy wielding a black sword stepped out. Naruto gazed into the village beyond the gates. Expecting to see the spirits of his fallen kin, he instead saw a thriving village. Children playing, civilians going about peacefully, shinobi stationed calmly. Confused, he stepped through the gate. He noticed their speech was different. Later, he realized they were speaking in the native Uzumaki tongue. He felt grateful he had met Kasumi. He found himself drawn toward a large, towering building, adorned with 2 red banners featuring the Whirlpool emblem in gold on its roof. Naruto identified it as the Uzukage's headquarters. Entering, he went straight to what he assumed was the Uzukage's office. Inside, an elderly man with streaks of red in his white hair looked up as a familiar girl entered. "Uzukage-sama," she greeted. "Ah, Kasumi. You've arrived," the Uzukage said. "I have a mission for you. Since you're among the few here fluent in the universal language, I'm sending you to Konohagakure to request aid." "What sort of help, Uzukage-sama?" "We've received intel about a possible attack." "From which nation?" "That's impossible, we've lived peacefully without offending anyone." "I understand, Kasumi, but they fear us." "Who, why? Kumo, Kiri, and Iwa are afraid of us. Though our village is small, our combat strength equals 2 full armies of a major shinobi nation. So they want to wipe us out." "Yes. You must depart within the hour and deliver this scroll to the third Hokage. We can only estimate the assault to happen in 3 days. Go now." The scene shifted again. Naruto guessed 3 days had passed. Bells tolled throughout the village. He stepped out from the Uzukage's building and surveyed the village. Quiet sobs from parents mingled with terrified cries from children. Genin hurriedly escorted civilians to bunkers, Chunin rushed to gather supplies, and senior Chunin organized their squads. ANBU and Jounin formed defensive lines to intercept the enemy. At the shore, Naruto spotted enormous ships bearing the Kumo and Kiri flags. 3 armies had allied. Kumo, Iwa, and Kiri aimed to obliterate the Uzumaki. What happened to Kasumi? Naruto pondered, halting suddenly as he recalled the vision he had seen before coming to the island. His thoughts were interrupted by children screaming. Naruto helplessly watched as a Kumonin ruthlessly slaughtered children. How had the enemy breached so quickly? Looking toward the gate, he saw it shattered. Bodies of attackers and defenders lay strewn. He realized time had skipped. Closing his eyes, he reopened them to find eerie silence. The village was in ruins. The invading ships were gone. The battle had ended. Naruto frantically searched for survivors. After a few minutes, the vision faded. "No survivors remain," a voice declared. Naruto turned to find his deceased clan before him. Thousands of spirits surrounded him. The Uzukage stood several paces ahead. Beside him were 5 other figures Naruto recognized as previous Uzukages. Among them was the first Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, Uzumaki Mito, who approached him. "Naruto, last scion and heir of our clan, we have awaited your arrival." 1 week later, Uzushiagakure Naruto was immediately taken under the tutelage of the past Uzukages. Over the week, he learned introductory Fuinjutsu. He would remain here for more than 2 years, while the clone stayed in Konoha. Besides sealing techniques, he trained to wield his chakra chains properly. Mito also taught him to control Kurama's chakra. Though he couldn't yet fuse with the tailed beast before age 13, there were many ways to utilize its chakra. Naruto sighed with relief as he completed training for the day. "Naruto, it's time to synchronize with your clone in Konoha." "What? Everything you learn and experience here will be shared with the clone, and vice versa." "All right, what do I do?" "Just take a seat in a meditative pose." "I'll reach out to my other self and then we'll handle the rest." 10 minutes passed. "I see, the third Hokage hasn't started searching for me yet." "He will soon enough," Mito replied. "Kurama, can you try contacting the clone again? Tell him, Konohagakure, I get it." Naruto murmured, strolling casually through the streets. Following orders from his original, he headed to the Hokage's residence. Upon arrival, he was promptly escorted to the office. Apparently, the third Hokage was monitoring him through his crystal orb. "No, not monitoring. More like spying on me," Naruto thought as he stepped inside. "Naruto, my boy, how are you? What brings you here?" Hiruzen asked, surprised by the sudden visit. Maybe the boy hadn't changed and just needed time after everything. "Hokage-sama," Naruto greeted. "Or maybe not. He really has changed." "I want to make a request," the boy said. "What is it?" "I'd like to live in an apartment. The place I'm currently staying at doesn't give me a pleasant feeling. It reminds me of bad memories." The Hokage nodded with a hint of sadness. "Very well, Naruto-kun. There is a place prepared for you. Please come with me." Accompanied by a hidden ANBU, the Hokage led Naruto to an apartment building that seemed completely empty. "Of course, I'll be living alone here." He doesn't want the demon brat mingling with the rest of the people, Naruto thought bitterly. "Here is the key to your room, Naruto-kun. Room 401. I'll return to my office. Just come find me if you need anything." "Understood, Hokage-sama." "Thank you," Naruto said, bowing respectfully before heading upstairs to find his room. As he searched for his room, he extended his senses, scanning the building for any other occupants. There was no one else. "Kasumi-chan, I want you to do something for me," Naruto spoke aloud. A shimmer appeared and Kasumi's ghost manifested. "What do you need?" "Investigate this building. Find out who owns it if anyone, and who lived here before it was abandoned. I'll report back by evening." "Thank you. I'll be at my parents' place," Naruto replied, moving toward a shadowed corner and teleporting away. Later that evening at the Namikaze estate, Naruto was meditating when Kasumi's presence returned. "Good evening, Kasumi-chan." "Good evening, Naruto-kun. The apartment the Hokage gave you is brand new. No one has lived here before. If you decide to stay, you'll be the first tenant." The building was intended to be sold to a wealthy businessman, but he died recently, ambushed by bandits on his way back. "I see. And the owner? He decided to rent out the building instead, though I doubt you'll have any neighbors. Word's already out about the demon brat living here." "News does spread quickly," Naruto mused, an idea forming. "Indeed, I want you to take me to the owner's house. I'll meet you at your apartment. The owner lives only 3 blocks away." Naruto nodded and shadow traveled back to the apartment. He merged with a wealthy businessman's form and created 2 clones, who took on the appearance of bodyguards. With a nod, he followed the ghost, clones trailing behind. At the porch, a servant greeted them and led them inside. A portly man adorned with excessive jewelry welcomed them into the living room. "Welcome, sir. How may I assist you?" the man said, presumed to be the owner. "Good evening, Dodo-san. I'm Menma-Kaze," Naruto introduced himself, shaking hands. "Ah, Menma-san, business I suppose. Straight to the point, huh? Yes, I heard you were selling an apartment." "Ah yes. But I've opened it up for rent, and someone's already renting one of the units." "I expected him to say it was empty," Kasumi commented. "No problem, I'm here to buy the whole building for that person." "Why go to such lengths for that thing?" "That thing, Dodo-san, is a human being. Seems you're just like the other villagers." "I came to make a deal. I was ready to offer triple the price to buy the building, but with your attitude," Naruto said, anger flashing in his eyes. Please forgive me, Menma-san, I misspoke," the fat man stammered, trying to halt Naruto, who was already at the doorway. Naruto smirked silently and faced the owner again. "Very well. I'll pay twice the price." Dodo's expression dropped. Naruto and Kasumi both noticed. "You don't like my offer?" "And no, yes, of course, twice the price is excellent." "Good, bring the papers to the apartment tomorrow. You'll transfer ownership to Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze," Naruto said, as he subtly cast a genjutsu. Dodo smiled broadly and shook Naruto's hand, unaware he was under a genjutsu spell. Naruto's skill with genjutsu was only at an intermediate level, having just started learning it. But with Kurama's assistance, the illusion would last about 36 hours on a civilian. Naruto and his clones left the house, still disguised, and headed back to the apartment. Upon arriving, Naruto sensed 3 presences upstairs. He and his clones melded with the shadows and moved to the 4th floor, toward his room. "SHHH, the demon is asleep," one voice whispered. "Let's kill it now." "Yeah, no one will notice." "I'll break the door, one of you stay lookout. Another guard the window so it can't escape," the first said. Hidden in the shadows, Naruto listened. His would-be assassins were carrying knives. "Civilians, huh?" Naruto thought as he melded inside his room. The leader's silhouette was outlined by moonlight through the window. As he raised his knife, chains emerged from the shadows, grabbing his wrist. Another chain gagged him. Naruto appeared and struck the intruder's head, rendering him unconscious. Outside, the leader's accomplices grew restless and entered the room. Chains held their mouths and limbs, silencing them. They felt something strike their necks and passed out moments later. Naruto flicked on the lights, seeing his room clearly for the first time. It was decent, with 4 areas: bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, and living room. "What will you do with them?" Kasumi asked, appearing above the 3 unconscious bodies. "For now, nothing. When I unlock the 5th power of my eye, I'll use their souls to trade for the people I want to resurrect." "I understand. Mother, can you contact my original and ask him for a seal? A preservation seal, perhaps, something effective on these heathens." Kurama chuckled at Naruto's word choice. "I'll inform the original. For now, keep them unconscious. I'll teach you where to strike to put them into a comatose state." The next day, Naruto spent the night in his new apartment. At night, 3 more visitors came. 2 civilians broke in around 1 a.m., and a Chunin shinobi came at 3. Now he had 6 souls for sacrifice. "1 soul I can revive already," Naruto thought, rising from bed. Living here isn't bad. People will try to kill me, but their souls will be put to use." "How many do you plan to keep?" Kasumi appeared. "That depends on how many try to kill me. I've already decided to use Dodo's soul too. When he brings the papers and deed, I'll keep him as well. I'll make it seem like he went on vacation and never returned, killed by bandits." The original told me to ask the Hokage for an apartment so he wouldn't find out I wasn't staying at the Liots. Didn't expect it to end this way. "It's a win-win. You get sacrifices and keep your heritage secret," Kasumi said. "I get it. While the original is training hard and stays safe under the Hokage's watch, I'm getting willing sacrifices here." Naruto chuckled as he prepared breakfast. The previous night, he had created a clone that transformed into a random civilian to purchase food. Naturally, he cast genjutsu on the shopkeepers to avoid paying. As he ate, Naruto sensed 5 chakra presences approaching. He immediately recognized one as the 3rd Hokage's. The other 4 were likely his ANBU escorts. Finishing his meal, Naruto heard a knock and quickly opened the door when the Hokage arrived. "Hokage-sama," Naruto greeted with his usual expressionless tone. "Good morning, Naruto-kun, may I come inside?" Hiruzen asked politely. "Certainly," Naruto replied, leading the elder to the living room. "Would you care for some tea?" "Yes, thank you," Hiruzen smiled. Naruto nodded and went to the kitchen. His clone had just finished brewing the tea. He poured it into cups and returned with the tray. "How may I assist you, Hokage-sama?" Naruto asked as he handed him a cup. "I have 2 matters to discuss," the Hokage said, eager to get straight to the point, sensing Naruto's reluctance to entertain visitors. "First, how are you finding the apartment? Do you like it, or would you prefer a transfer?" "I like it here, Hokage-sama. I'm alone and no one bothers the demon child," Naruto said calmly. The Hokage winced but said nothing. "I understand, that's good. Secondly, the academy will begin in 4 months. "No," Naruto interrupted firmly. "What?" "I said no. I won't be attending the academy or becoming a shinobi of the leaf." Sarutobi was taken aback by the boy's response. But I thought you wanted to become Hokage. Not anymore. Why protect a village that despises me? Naruto snapped back. Sarutobi was at a loss for words, feeling the icy bitterness radiating from Naruto. The Hokage hesitated. I'm truly sorry, Naruto-kun. Are you really? Naruto challenged. Hiruzen flinched and bowed his head in shame, feeling the weight of the boy's cold gaze. I might reconsider. Hiruzen's eyes brightened with hope. If the villagers change their minds, Naruto finished. I know about that law you established, Hokage-sama, but you never enforced it. You should have done more than just silence talk about my status. If you truly regret it, you'll take action against the villagers. Naruto picked up his teacup and headed back to the kitchen. The Hokage took this as his cue to leave. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, Minato Kushina, Hiruzen murmured as he departed. From the kitchen, Naruto overheard the old man's apologies. It only fueled his anger. Later that afternoon, while meditating, Naruto heard a knock at the door. He formed 3 clones, disguising them as Menma and his 2 bodyguards, then opened it. Dodo stood there with a broad grin, clutching a brown envelope. Good afternoon, Dodo-san, greeted Menma. Good afternoon, Menma-sama. Here are the documents. The land and building now belong to Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Excellent, Naruto said. Here's your payment. He cast a new, stronger genjutsu that would last a week. You are to sell all your properties and transfer the funds to me, Naruto ordered. Understood, Menma-sama, Dodo replied with a smile, bowed and left. What's the plan with all that money? Kasumi asked as Naruto dispelled his clones. For now, nothing, Naruto replied. But I know I'll need plenty, not including my inheritance. I have the Liots' money already, and next week Dodo's as well. 2 weeks later, Naruto happily slurped his ramen. Dodo had sold all his properties after Naruto's clone impersonated him and announced the move to Sunagakure. News had reached Konoha of Dodo's caravan being ambushed by bandits. Since Dodo relinquished his Leaf citizenship to migrate to Suna, Naruto didn't worry about the Hokage investigating him. During the weekly chakra sync, Kurama informed Naruto that the original was pleased with his progress and approved capturing his would-be assassins. Over the past 2 weeks, there had been 49 attempts on his life. Now 84 souls awaited sacrifice. On the 3rd sync, Naruto learned how to seal bodies. This was useful since 2 other apartment rooms were filled with the bodies of captured attackers. He stored them in sealing scrolls, awaiting the original to master sealing scroll storage to save space. 1 year later, Hokage's office. Hokage-sama, after investigating, we've confirmed Taro is missing. Hiruzen cursed under his breath. Over the past year, groups, pairs, or individuals had disappeared. So far, 834 people were confirmed missing. 563 civilians and 271 shinobi, 46 ANBU, 86 jounin, 116 chunin, and 23 genin. Add him to the list. Call my secretary before you leave. The jounin bowed and exited. Moments later, the Sandame's secretary entered. You called, Hokage-sama? Yes, I'm stepping out for a while. I'm leaving my clone behind. Outside Hokage Mansion, Hiruzen sighed, burdened by the mysterious disappearances. If another nation was responsible, why take civilians? So far, there had been no protests, but he expected unrest soon. His only suspect was Orochimaru, the snake Sannin behind previous disappearances before the Ninetales attack. Does he know about Naruto-kun? Whether Orochimaru was aware of the boy's lineage or not, the Sandame feared Naruto might be a target. He resolved to act. Hiruzen headed to Naruto's apartment. Though Naruto rejected becoming a Leaf shinobi, the Hokage planned to convince him to attend the academy, even without graduating. As long as Naruto attended, he'd be monitored by the proctors, easing Hiruzen's mind. Naruto's apartment for a year, Naruto and the original in Uzumaki trained and studied relentlessly. Naruto could shadow travel farther, controlled his chains better, and deepened his understanding of emotions under Kurama's tutelage. His Fuinjutsu skills improved. He mastered the sealing strokes and expanded his repertoire. His power over darkness increased, unlocking the 2nd level of his Dijutsu. For his 7th birthday, Minato taught Naruto the Rasengan, which Naruto mastered in 3 months. Minato then urged him to learn the Hurricane before leaving Whirlpool, and Naruto and the original began training. Meditating on his dark release, Naruto opened his eyes when he sensed a strong chakra approaching his apartment. Each month, the Hokage visited to chat or sometimes go out to eat. Naruto opened the door upon hearing a knock. Hokage-sama, he greeted in his usual neutral tone. Hiruzen's heart ached again. He still hoped Naruto would someday call him old man once more. Good afternoon, Naruto-kun, how have you been? I'm fine, Hokage-sama, please come in and have a seat, I'll prepare something to eat. The Hokage nodded appreciatively and sat on the couch. Naruto returned from the kitchen with a tray carrying 2 bowls of steaming ramen and 2 glasses of orange juice. Thank you, the Hokage said as he accepted a cup. They chatted casually for a while before Hiruzen brought up the subject he had come for. Naruto-kun, I want to ask you once again if you'd like to enroll in the academy. The boy remained silent, simply staring at him. This made the third Hokage uneasy. You see, even if you don't aim to become Hokage, you still need to learn what it means to be a shinobi. Having instructors to guide you is better than studying alone. Why? Naruto asked. What do you mean by why? Why bring this up now? You already know how I'd respond. There must be a reason, please be honest. What made you ask me again about joining the academy? The Hokage sighed deeply. I'm not sure if you realize, but many villagers have vanished lately without a trace. I fear these unknown kidnappers might target you as well. If you attend the academy, I can rest easier knowing you'll be at school during the day, reducing the chances of you being taken. Just so you know, I'm capable of handling myself. Putting aside the missing people, I will go to the academy. I get the feeling the instructors there won't interfere with my growth and learning. Naruto, of course, understood why the academy staff wouldn't undermine him. 5 months after he started sealing those who tried to kill him, the villagers noticed people disappearing and suspected he was the cause. They believed the demon brat had begun fighting back. After that, the attempts on his life became less frequent. Naruto just needed to say something to keep the Hokage from doubting him. What he said was partly true. Most of the shinobi he had dealt with were chunin, and many of them taught at the academy. So he knew that the teachers this upcoming year would be new and not hostile to him. However, I have one condition if I attend the academy. What's that? I want to be placed with last year's class, that way my classmates will be my age. Your classmates might get jealous, Hiruzen chuckled. Then let's seal a demon inside them, Naruto replied. And no, I didn't mean that. Sorry, I was just saying they'll be jealous you didn't start in first grade like them. I know that. If they're jealous, I'll find demons for them to seal inside themselves. That way they won't have to be jealous anymore. So do we have an agreement? Yes, you'll be placed with last year's batch. I'm sure you can catch up quickly. Good. We have a deal then. I'll visit you next week with the paperwork ready. I'll be there when you enroll. Very well, thank you, Hokage-sama. Have a good day, Naruto-kun, Hiruzen said as he left. Konohagakure evening backstreets, please, don't gark, splat. Naruto's senses sharpened as the scent of blood filled the air. He had just taken down a group of thugs. At first they tried to mug him, but upon recognizing him as the demon brat, they decided to kill him. There were 5 of them. Using his chains, he restrained them and eliminated them one by one. After releasing the first, he manipulated his shadow to snap the man's neck. The second fell when Naruto controlled his shadow to bend his body painfully. The third was impaled by multiple spikes formed from shadow. The fourth was killed by having all his limbs yanked simultaneously by Naruto's chains. Ignoring the last thug's desperate cries, Naruto forced a chain into his mouth, splitting it into smaller chains that wrapped all over his body. Applying untamed wind chakra, tiny blades sliced through the cells until the body exploded. You're getting better with your elemental chakra chains, Kasumi said as she appeared beside Naruto. It's just raw chakra, Naruto answered a bit sadly. I know, but what you did was similar to the Rasengan. Your attack was purely raw chakra. Soon you'll be able to properly infuse nature elements into your chains, like you do with the wind in your Rasengan. You're right. Thanks, Kasumi-chan, let's head home. Which home? My parents, of course. 1 week later, good morning, Naruto-kun. Are you ready? The Hokage asked as he appeared at Naruto's apartment door. You're only enrolling me in the academy. There's nothing to prepare for, unless there's an entrance exam, Naruto replied dryly. Usually yes, but since you want to join your age group, you don't need to take the test to determine your level. Plus, you've already been studying at home. Exactly, I don't want to be with kids older or younger than me, they'll surely know about the demon brat. Hiruzen winced when Naruto said the term. He couldn't help but look at the boy with guilt. Naruto noticed and scoffed. Let's just get this over with, he said. The third Hokage nodded and led the 7-year-old to the academy to enroll him. As they passed through the streets, some villagers stared openly while others avoided looking, afraid of being taken. When Naruto noticed the first glare, he emitted a dark aura. Unlike normal energy, his was cold and radiated death. Those with weak will, especially civilians, froze in terror, envisioning their own deaths in dreadful ways. Even the Hokage, the village's strongest, felt chills and goosebumps looking at the boy with concern. Ignore them, Naruto-kun. They can only glare, Hiruzen said. Like hell I will. I'm not the weak boy you knew, Hokage-sama. If they glare at me, I'll return it tenfold with killing intent. If they lay hands on me, I'll defend myself. I know the laws allow self-defense, and I won't hesitate to kill if attacked. The Hokage stopped walking, shocked by the boy's words. Would he really kill someone at his age? Naruto noticed but kept going. They were close to the academy. What happened to him after that night? Has Mai been secretly meeting with him? Is she teaching him? Sarutobi wondered as he watched Naruto. He followed behind the boy. It's not impossible. He's only 7 yet already controls his energy well. If he were linked to the Kyuubi, his aura would be malicious rather than cold death. We're here, Hokage-sama, Naruto said, breaking his thoughts. Right, come with me to the office, Naruto-kun. As they walked, Naruto noticed the proctors watched him neutrally, except one. The man's silver-white hair stood out, and Naruto recognized him. He would have to deal with that Chunin before starting school. They stopped at what Naruto assumed was the main office. After completing some forms, the Hokage took him to another room. Hello, Uruka-kun, Hiruzen greeted as they entered. Uruka jumped up, bowing quickly. Good morning, Hokage-sama. How can I assist you? Oh, I'm just introducing a new student joining last year's class, Hiruzen said, motioning to Naruto. Uruka frowned, recognizing the boy, which didn't escape their notice. Naruto returned Uruka's stare, adding a hint of dark aura, making the instructor uneasy. Ahem, this is Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto, meet Uruka Umino. He'll be your class advisor, Hiruzen interrupted. Naruto stopped glaring and muttered, Nice to meet you, Uruka-sensei. Nice to meet you too, Naruto. I hope to be a good teacher, the Chunin answered awkwardly. The Hokage excused Naruto, who shrugged and stared at a corner of the room before leaving. Hiruzen and Uruka wondered what had caught his attention. Once the boy was gone, the Hokage began talking to Uruka. Namikaze residence, so. What did they talk about? Naruto asked aloud. Moments later, a shimmer appeared as Kasumi's ghost showed up. The Hokage explained to Uruka that you're not the Kyuubi but only its vessel. He also told him you're an orphan like himself. After some convincing, the Chunin finally accepted your innocence. Naruto burst out laughing, and Kurama, who was listening nearby, let out a snort. Innocent? Yeah, right. Innocent my foot. I'm 7 years old and I've already killed and kidnapped people. So sure I'm innocent, Naruto exhaled deeply. Anyway, I want you to go to the academy and follow that white-haired proctor wherever he goes. The spirit gave a nod and vanished to carry out Naruto's command. 3 months later, Hokage's office. Is this true? The third Hokage asked. A raven-masked Anbu knelt before him. Yes, Hokage-sama. My clan feels more and more alienated from the village because of how the villagers treat them. Several members of the police force are even thinking about quitting. They no longer want to defend a village that blames them for the Nine-Tails assault. I understand. Tell Fugaku I'll meet with him. After my duties, I'll visit his compound. We need to settle this before things get worse. Yes, Hokage-sama. Naruto's apartment. Today's the day, Naruto muttered as he rose from bed. You sound eager, Kurama remarked. I plan to find someone in my class I can use or manipulate. All right, then you should get going. Naruto nodded and got ready for school. It was his first day at the academy, and he was curious about his classmates. Not that he cared about them personally, but he wanted to spot a potential ally or pawn, in case he chose to abandon or destroy the village, or both. Naruto had to be cautious. Kasumi warned him that the Hokage was finally suspicious after all the obvious evidence linking him to the kidnappings. News about the demon brat joining the academy spread fast. After that, attempts on his life ceased, but those who despised him shifted their focus to sabotaging his education. Though the Hokage's suspicion was justified, Naruto knew Hiruzen felt too guilty living as an outcast, hated by everyone. The old man couldn't bring himself to confront Naruto about the kidnappings. As many spirits had told him, the third was too soft and lacked the spine for such conflicts. Back in the war he was reliable, but now he let others walk over him, teammates and council members alike. Later, Konoha Academy, Uruka's class. All right, everyone. Before we start, I'd like to introduce a new student. The chattering stopped as the newcomer entered. This is Naruto, Uruka announced, presenting the boy. The student stared at the blonde. Sensei, is he a transfer? Someone asked. No, he was born and raised here. Then why didn't he attend the first year? Asked a boy with a puppy perched on his head. Naruto has a special situation, so he couldn't join you in first year. He was homeschooled, Uruka said, looking uneasy. Was he ill? Another asked. Before Uruka could answer, Naruto cut in. No, I wasn't sick. To be clear, I had to hide for nearly 2 years from assassins. People wanted me dead. It was only 3 months ago that the attacks finally stopped. Everyone froze in shock. Even Uruka was speechless. He had no idea about the assassination attempts. Hokage-sama never told me. Seems he wanted Naruto to reveal it himself. Didn't expect he'd let Naruto tell the whole class, but if that's the third's choice, I won't question it. Clearing his throat, Uruka addressed the class again. Right. Naruto, before you take a seat, please tell us your full name, your likes and dislikes, hobbies, and what you dream of for the future. Naruto stared at the teacher a moment, making him visibly uncomfortable. Then he looked at the class and said, My name's Uzumaki Naruto. You'll learn what I like when you get to know me. I dislike a lot of things. My hobbies, you'll find out eventually. As for my dream, it's to restore my clan. If you're curious, research the Uzumaki clan. That'll explain why assassins were after me. Also, my mother's in Uzumaki, but my father wasn't. I can't use his surname. It would double the chances of being targeted. My father was the last of his clan before he passed. Naruto shared this because he knew Uruka would assume the Hokage had already told him about Naruto's background. The third would only realize Naruto knew the truth when the classmates discovered it, and eventually the village heard. Feeling he'd said enough, Naruto chose a seat at the back to quietly watch the others. 1 month later, nobody seemed curious enough to research the Uzumaki clan. Naruto guessed it was because he was still a nobody in class. He didn't mind. Things would change after the first semester. After observing his classmates, only 2 caught his attention. The first was the class genius, Neji Hyuga, a branch family member who rivaled the heiress in talent, but Naruto wasn't drawn to his intellect, it was the cold hatred he gave off. The second was the class clown, Sasuke Uchiha. Unlike most of his clan, Sasuke was loud and always sought attention. He bragged he'd be the first Uchiha to become Hokage. He also played pranks and caused trouble. Though mischievous, he tied with Neji for second place in rankings. 5 months later, the second term began. Some classmates were starting to take interest in Naruto. He was now top of the class, with Neji and Sasuke tied for second. Naruto had learned more about the two. He understood why Neji hated everyone, especially his cousin Hinata. Naruto had spoken with the ghost of Hisashi, who sometimes appeared in the classroom near his son. Neji blamed Hinata for his father's death. He also hated the main house for using the caged bird seal to control the branch members. Sasuke's difference stemmed from his desire for the villagers' acceptance. He noticed how cold they were to his clan but didn't understand why. Many Uchiha acted arrogant. Sasuke believed becoming Hokage would earn respect and acceptance. Poor Sasuke, so naive and hopeful, Naruto thought. He knew the village's treatment of Sasuke's clan and had heard whispers from spirits about an Uchiha coup and the Hokage trying to prevent it. 5 months later, Hokage's office. It will happen tomorrow night. They've finally made their decision, the raven-masked ANBU reported. I see, peace talks are off the table. Are you sure you want to carry out Plan B yourself? Hiruzen asked. I've decided, Hokage-sama. My loyalty is to the village, not my clan. If I sided with them, Konoha would plunge into civil war, becoming vulnerable to enemy villages. I won't let that happen. I seek peace, even if it means destroying my own clan. You know what follows. I do, Hokage-sama, but I ask one thing, if I'm declared missing nin, please protect my brother Sasuke. I love him too much, I can't kill him, that's all, spare him. Very well, here's your mission scroll, you'll do it tonight. Sasuke will be safe. Itachi nodded, took the scroll, and left to prepare for his final mission as a Konoha shinobi. Namikaze residence. Afternoon time. Naruto was unwinding after his training session. Just a week ago, he unlocked the third stage of his Jujutsu. Now, he had the ability to command spirits to perform tasks that needed physical contact. He was pondering sending ghosts to possess people when the spirit of Kasumi suddenly appeared before him. I come with news from the Hokage office. Itachi Uchiha has been assigned to wipe out his entire clan tonight. The only one meant to survive is his younger brother, Sasuke. Right after her words, another spirit manifested, dressed in a traditional yukata adorned with the Senju emblem on its back. It's happening tonight. The third clan extermination is set for tonight. Konoha has finally chosen its third victim, the Uchiha clan, and the massacre will be carried out by an Uchiha themselves. The ghost exclaimed loudly. Naruto, Kasumi, and Kurama all listened closely, intrigued. Explain, Naruto demanded. The first clan purge occurred after the Second Great War when Kumo, Iwa, and Kiri invaded Uzushiogakure, annihilating its people. Konoha was blamed for this tragedy since they failed to send aid, Kasumi recounted. The second massacre took place a few months following the Uzumaki clan's destruction. The Senju clan, closely tied to the Uzumaki, since Hashirama was married to Mito, grew furious at the leadership for allowing it. Eventually, the higher-ups commanded the eradication of the Senju clan. And as you know, the third is slated for tonight. The Uchiha clan will be the third to suffer Konoha's purge. Naruto sat quietly, absorbing the grim news. It was hard to fathom that Konoha's leaders had ordered the elimination of 3 clans. If you seek more in-depth details, the scrolls containing this information are stored inside the Hokage's vault. Understood. The official report will be drafted tomorrow or the day after. Within 3 days, I want you to possess the Hokage secretary, retrieve those scrolls, and bring the originals to me. Leave copies behind. At once, Naruto-sama, Kasumi replied. Before you go, tell me, who is assigned to carry out this mission? Itachi Uchiha, a top ANBU operative who wears the Raven mask. However, for this task, he will not wear his usual mask. Naruto nodded as the Senju spirit vanished. If Itachi plans to slaughter his clan tonight, I have to intervene. After all, an Uchiha was responsible for my parents' deaths. What are you thinking? Kasumi asked. Naruto flashed a sinister grin. You'll see. I want you by my side when the massacre begins. He moved toward the training ground, closed his eyes, and called out, Answer my summons, spirits of the departed, I require your aid. Moments later, shimmering forms surrounded Naruto. 100 ghosts appeared. One, clad in an ANBU outfit, bowed respectfully and asked, What are your orders, Naruto-sama? The Uchiha clan is to be exterminated tonight. Scatter yourselves across their compound. Relay messages and act as sentinels. Alert me if anyone besides the Uchiha is present. We obey, Naruto-sama, the ghost said before fading from sight. Naruto sat and entered meditation. Mother, I need you to contact the original. I will require Kagatsuchi's assistance. Inform them of tonight's events. Later nighttime, Uchiha compound blending seamlessly with the shadows, Naruto hid deep within the compound center, where the tallest building stood, giving him a clear view of the unfolding events. He still had no idea what Itachi looked like. He held Kagatsuchi in both hands, in her death scythe form. Naruto planned to follow Itachi's trail and gather the souls of those he killed, to prevent their resurrection through forbidden jutsu. Only he, the son of the Shinigami, and the Shinigami herself could summon souls free from divine punishment, as strict laws governed such matters. At the stroke of 9, 2 figures appeared. One wore traditional Uchiha robes, and the other was fully clad in ANBU gear. Naruto assumed the latter was Itachi. The two spoke quietly. Naruto, Kurama growled. That's him who, that bastard caused your parents' deaths. Naruto narrowed his eyes, recognizing the man. Damn it, he cursed. That's Obito. Even with you and Kagatsuchi, I'm not strong enough to take him on yet. What should I do? Naruto-sama, I have a suggestion, Kagatsuchi said. Go on. If you can't confront him now, at least place a spirit tracking seal on him. When you've grown powerful enough, you'll be able to find him easily. A perfect plan. Thanks, Kagatsuchi, Naruto replied, already devising a strategy. Kasumi, he whispered. Track the man in robes. Possess one of his victims and discreetly seal him with the tracking mark. As Naruto issued the orders, The two Uchiha split and jumped in opposite directions. Kasumi followed Obito, Naruto tailed Itachi. Moving through the shadows, Naruto silently prayed to his mother to keep the victims from dying outright, placing them in a coma instead. This way, he could still collect their souls later. Now, two Uchiha assassins roamed, but he would only claim the souls Itachi took. The Shinigami's protection would preserve the victims. Disappearing and reappearing amid darkness, Naruto reaped souls with Kagatsuchi, binding them to his weapon. The quiet slaughter lasted nearly half an hour before a ghost appeared, an Uchiha spirit. "Pardon me, Naruto-sama. I am Shisui. I came to warn you that Danzo and 30 Route ANBU are approaching. Danzo plans to steal all the Sharingan eyes for himself." Naruto noticed the spirit's closed, bleeding eyes. "What happened to your eyes?" "Danzo took them." "I see. What should I do, keep them or destroy them as you wish? Though I despise the Uchiha, stealing bloodlines is dishonorable. I will destroy those stolen eyes and recover yours." "Thank you, Naruto-sama. It takes a non-Uchiha's body a full day to adjust to transplanted Sharingan. Since he took mine, and they were not ordinary Sharingan, Danzo won't be able to use the Manjikaiwu properly for a week," Shisui said before fading away. "Hear my command," Naruto whispered in Yomi's tongue. "Beowulf!" From the shadows, 30 muscular, wolf-like beasts with white spikes emerged, their glowing eyes piercing the darkness. They all stared intently at Naruto. "Find the Route ANBU. They wear blank masks. Eliminate them, devour them, leave no trace." The largest among them, the Alpha Beowulf, howled in a way only its kind understood. The others answered, then melted into the shadows to hunt. "Beringel, Ursa Major, nevermore." A giant gorilla-like creature appeared, accompanied by two bear-like beasts, all pitch black with white armor marked in red. Their hollow eyes glowed red. A massive demonic crow screeched from a rooftop. The four beasts stared at Naruto, awaiting his command. "You four will target the man called Danzo. His upper body is fully wrapped in bandages. Subdue him but keep him alive. Nevermore, ensure you remove his eyes intact and bring them back to me." The four entities set off to carry out their orders, while Naruto returned to finish off the fallen Uchiha and absorb their souls with Kagatsuchi. "Uchiha compound, rear side excellent. The carnage has started. Root, collect the eyes from the bodies and bring every single one to me." The Root members nodded and moved inside the compound, unaware of the creatures lying in wait. Danzo smirked greedily as he neared the closest building. Just as he crouched to extract the fallen Uchiha's eyes, a massive black beast appeared beside him and hurled him against an alley wall. The seasoned old man narrowed his eyes at the gorilla-like attacker. Activating his stolen Sharingan, he was stunned to detect no chakra pathways or any chakra whatsoever from the beast. He exhaled a gust of wind jutsu, but the creature charged unaffected. He barely leapt away in time to avoid being rammed. "What is this? A guardian of the Uchiha bloodline?" Danzo wondered, noticing the creature's eyes glowing red but lacking the typical 3 tamo of a Sharingan. "A summoned beast with Manjikaiwu. Yet, why no chakra?" His thoughts were interrupted by a sudden presence behind him. He dodged and spotted another black creature resembling a bear. Another bear appeared, forcing him to leap again to evade claws. While airborne, he was caught off guard as he was bombarded with hardened quill-like projectiles. Before he could land, 2 sets of claws grabbed him, piercing his wounded arm. Looking up, he recognized a giant crow as the assailant before it released him, sending him crashing through a roof and into the house. "I see. So these beings truly guard the Uchiha," Danzo muttered, as he peeled the bandages from his right arm and formed seals for a powerful wind jutsu. He was certain these creatures were preventing him from stealing the Sharingan. "The Sharingan belonged to me," he roared, unleashing a wind vortex. An hour later it was done. From a distance, Naruto observed Itachi, who was watching over his younger brother now entering the compound. Obito had already fled, unaware of the ghost tracking seal placed on him. Naruto kept Shisui's eyes secured in a special storage scroll. The Route ANBU had been wiped out by a pack of Beowulfs. Danzo, heavily wounded, failed to escape. Though he defeated the Beringel and 2 Ursa Major beasts using Mokuton, he lost both arms in the fight. The right arm, containing Hashirama's cells, was destroyed due to his inability to control its power. His left arm had been torn off by the demon bear. The eyes he had stolen were taken by Nevermore. Blind and armless, He attempted to flee, but was caught and beaten nearly to death by the Alpha Beowulf. Kasumi, tail Itachi and watch what he does to his brother. I'll meet you later at my parents' house, Naruto commanded the ghost as he vanished via shadow travel to the Namikaze residence. Later Namikaze residence Naruto sat comfortably, staring at the eyes preserved in a jar. Kasumi had returned some time ago, reporting on the torture Itachi inflicted on Sasuke. Shisui just finished explaining the Mangekyo secrets and his unique ability, Kato Matsukami. The Uchiha clan is now under my control, Naruto said fondly gripping the Kagatsuchi scythe. The one who murdered my parents will be dealt with in time. The last Uchiha in Konoha, Sasuke, he will be my obedient pawn. Time skipped 2 weeks had passed since the Uchiha massacre. News spread even to the most remote villages. No one knew why Itachi committed the massacre. Konoha's official explanation was that Itachi did it to test his strength and because he hated his clan. Konohagakure Academy as usual, Naruto sat at the back of the classroom, quietly watching his classmates. It had been a week since the so-called last Uchiha was discharged from the hospital. Contrary to popular belief, Sasuke seemed cheerful and more eager to learn, not gloomy or bitter as many expected. At least, that's what Naruto believed Sasuke wanted the village to see. After a week of observation, Naruto realized the boy wore a mask. Inside, he was grieving and angry at those who pitied him. Sasuke despised the way villagers flocked to him after his clan's demise. He knew they only sought his family's wealth. Though still a minor, village elders scrambled to get closer by pushing their daughters onto him. Sasuke's facade slipped briefly when classmate Kiba made a cruel remark about the Uchiha clan being pathetic for falling to a single individual in one night. Only Naruto noticed Sasuke's eyes flicker into a fully matured Sharingan, and his fists clenched tightly in anger. The bell rang, pulling Naruto back to the present. As classmates left in groups or pairs, Sasuke headed straight home, uninterested in socializing. With Friday ending classes early, Naruto melted into the shadows to execute his plan. Later that night, Uchiha compound Sasuke sat in the living room, sipping tea after exhausting training. A knock sounded at the door, and cautiously he approached. The compound was heavily trapped, with defensive seals that only allowed Uchiha blood to enter, activated after the Danzo incident. He was surprised to find Naruto standing there holding a scroll. "Good evening, Sasuke, may I come in?" the blonde asked. Puzzled, Sasuke nodded and invited him inside. "Tea," Naruto accepted gratefully. "How are you holding up?" Naruto asked. "Fine, to be honest, I'm angry at the village." "Why's that?" "Before I explain, I want to ask a favor." "Okay, if it's doable, I'll agree." "What is it?" Sasuke replied with a faint smile. "It's simple. When it's just us, I want you to drop the mask," Naruto said, setting down his cup and locking eyes with Sasuke, who frowned. "I don't know what you mean." "Look, I know you hate the village. I've seen how they fawn over you now. When your clan was alive, they ignored you, hated your pranks, and hated your dream of becoming Hokage. You hate them. You hate Kiba for his insults. You hate Itachi for killing your family. We're not so different, we're both the last survivors of our clans." Naruto laid the scroll on the table and unsealed it. 5 folders appeared. He handed the top one to Sasuke. "What's this? Open it, see for yourself." Still confused, Sasuke opened the folder and read aloud. Name, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze status, Kyuubi Jinchuriki grade. Second year academy student parents. Minato Namikaze, Konoha's Yellow Flash, 4th Hokage, deceased Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, Whirlpool Princess, former Kyuubi Jinchuriki, deceased godparents. Mikoto Uchiha and Jiraiya of the Sannin assigned guardians. Mikoto and Fugaku Uchiha, deceased age, 8 height, 37 eye color, light blue hair color, blonde distinguishing features. 3 whisker marks on each cheek, a birthmark from his mother as a Kyuubi Jinchuriki abilities. Uzumaki rapid healing. Unknown Uzumaki longevity. Unknown Jinchuriki powers, currently dormant, rank. Low Genin Sasuke remained quiet for several minutes as he finished reading. He glanced at Naruto, then at the folder, and back at Naruto once more. When you first introduced yourself in class, you mentioned that your father was the last of his clan, and that you had to take your mother's surname for your protection. Because your father was the 4th Hokage, Sasuke felt like slapping himself. Of course, he looks exactly like his dad. How did I miss that before? He paused as he recalled some important details in the folder and decided to question Naruto. Naruto, this says your mother was the previous, and you are the current Kyuubi Jinchuriki. What exactly does being a Kyuubi Jinchuriki mean? Jinchuriki. It literally means power of the human sacrifice. Jinchuriki are people who have tailed beasts sealed inside them. There are 9 Jinchuriki in total, matching the 9 tailed beasts. So you have a demon sealed within you, Sasuke nearly shouted. Yes, oh, Sasuke fell silent again for a moment before speaking once more. It also says here that Ka-chan was your godmother. But why didn't you live with us? Why didn't my parents adopt you? They were supposed to be your guardians. What do you know about the Jinchuriki and the Mangekyo Sharingan? Naruto asked. I just learned about Jinchuriki recently. I don't know much about the Mangekyo Sharingan. I only know it's an advanced form beyond the regular Sharingan's 3 Tamo. Itachi had it. I didn't realize the two were linked. I won't explain everything about the Mangekyo since I'm not an Uchiha. You'll have to learn on your own. What I do know is it can control tailed beasts. 8 years ago, on October 10th, my mother, who was the Kyuubi Jinchuriki then, was giving birth to me. Only moments after I was born, an Uchiha appeared inside the delivery room. This room was miles away from Konoha and heavily guarded by ANBU. When a female Jinchuriki is delivering, the seal containing the tailed beast weakens a lot. That's why my mother had to be far from the village, in case the Kyuubi escaped. Back to the story, just seconds after my birth, a masked Uchiha broke into the guarded room, slaughtering the doctors and nurses. One nurse was the third Hokage's wife. The Uchiha snatched me from my parents and attached bombs all over my body. I was thrown up to die, but my father caught me. While he was removing the bombs and hiding me in a safe house, the Uchiha used the distraction to free the Kyuubi Jinchuriki from my mother. This Uchiha was different. He had the Mangekyo. Using his eyes, he ordered the Kyuubi to attack the village. Thousands died before the 4th Hokage managed to reseal the Kyuubi into a new host, me. During the sealing, the Uchiha tried to stop it by commanding the Kyuubi to kill me. My parents intervened and were impaled by the demon's claw. While dying, they subdued the Kyuubi and freed it from the Uchiha's control. The Uchiha escaped, and I became the 3rd Kyuubi Jinchuriki. Afterward, the 3rd Hokage had to reclaim the role of Hokage. Of course, he was responsible for a major secret leak. Usually, Jinchuriki identities are kept hidden. My mother's status was secret. Mine was revealed. The entire village knows now. As the village recovered, they took their anger out on a boy, the one who reminded them of that tragic night. The village decided I was the Kyuubi itself, though I'm just the vessel. You wondered why your mother never adopted me, even though she was my godmother. She had no choice but to avoid me. The entire village learned the Uchiha could control tailed beasts with the Sharingan. Being fools, they suspected your clan. Your father was clan leader. If your parents adopted me, everyone would know. They'd suspect your clan even more for the attack 8 years ago. The culprit was a rogue Uchiha who never lived in Konoha. But the village wouldn't believe it, insisting your clan wanted to destroy the village. You know about your clan and the Senju's history, right? And about Madara and Hashirama. Sasuke nodded silently as he absorbed the new revelations. Naruto refilled his cup and drank while waiting. After a few minutes, Naruto grabbed another folder and handed it to Sasuke. This one's from me. It contains everything I have on them so far. I'm still gathering more. There were only 4 pages. Each had a name, a photo, and a short summary. Sasuke read aloud. Hiruzen Saruto by Danzo Shimura Koharu Udatain Himura Mitakato. Those 4 old relics are the reason we're the last of our clans, Naruto said as he picked up the remaining 3 folders. What I'm about to share is highly confidential. These 3 folders are copies from Konoha's vault, containing SS-rank classified secrets and missions. Only those 4 know about this. I'm giving you these copies since I have mine. Keep them hidden when not reading. I'd recommend using a blood seal. Sasuke nodded and took the folders with trembling hands. He swallowed hard and skimmed the contents. The first clan massacre. The Uzumaki clan, the second clan massacre. The Senju clan, the third clan massacre. The Uchiha clan. Sasuke's throat tightened as he read aloud. What the hell? He gasped, staring at Naruto then the folders. Naruto stayed silent, expression unreadable as he waited for Sasuke to finish. Naruto's hotel, former residence, Naruto lounged on his custom-made leather sofa. Having inherited the fortune of a deceased merchant along with several other victims, he now possessed the means to transform the modest apartment into a luxurious hotel. The top 6 floors were converted into an exclusive penthouse just for him. The entire building consisted of 21 floors, leaving 15 floors available for guests. Taking a sip from his juice bottle, he reflected on the earlier events. His strategy to ensure the last Uchiha pledged allegiance to him was finally underway. With the forged documents he handed to Sasuke, the boy would eventually despise the village even more and abandon any ambitions of becoming Hokage. Naruto had tweaked the papers slightly before giving them to Sasuke. For instance, the endorsement from Hiruzen Sarutobi regarding the annihilation of the Uzumaki and Senju clans was a forgery. In reality, the old monkey was unaware of the true details behind the clan massacre. He only found out that the 3 elders ordered their destruction after the fact. But Sasuke doesn't need to be privy to that, Naruto thought. The third Hokage was a weak leader who allowed his former comrades to dominate him. He gave them free rein and permitted them to gain influence instead of punishing them for treason, acting without his consent, and committing mass slaughter. At least when it came to the Uchiha massacre, he showed some backbone and authorized the clan's eradication. Another alteration Naruto made to the documents involved Itachi's stance on his clan. Itachi never truly hated his family, rather he cherished peace. His experiences during the Second Shinobi War turned him into a pacifist. He didn't want the village to collapse due to a coup. It's inevitable anyway. This damn village will fall. But still, Sasuke doesn't need to know that. After finishing his drink, Naruto grabbed a crystal resting atop his large table. It was an amethyst roughly the size of a standard scroll. A soul gem, Naruto murmured as he examined the crystal. It was a prototype he had just completed that very morning before heading to the academy. He had to consult the original soul sealing techniques from Uzumaki to understand how to trap souls. Following the Uchiha massacre, he resolved to learn how to preserve dying individuals in stasis, so he could collect them later when he needed to be in 2 places simultaneously. He didn't want to trouble his mother again like before. If a similar incident happened, a clone of himself could use the soul gems to capture souls, while the original employed Kagatsuchi. The clone or clones would later transfer the gathered souls into the weapon. Currently, the soul gem could only hold the souls of ordinary civilians. Naruto was still working on refining it to trap souls infused with chakra. He planned to start with capturing genin-level souls before attempting those of cage-level shinobi. Standing up, he slipped the gem into his pocket. It had been 2 weeks since his last kill. It was time for some action. Besides, he needed to test whether the soul gem truly functioned. Ignoring the stairs, he stepped into the shadows and teleported away. Streets of Konoha 10 blocks away from the hotel, Naruto emerged briefly in a shadowed alley before melting back into darkness. Nighttime was prime for criminals and scoundrels lurking to prey on unsuspecting citizens. Within moments, he heard a girl's cries for help. Remaining concealed, he followed the sound. Naruto's expression shifted to confusion as he spotted a girl about his age being manhandled by a man in a business suit. "Your daddy won't be able to protect you now, little brat. You're in our turf. Don't worry, I'll make your death quick. Presenting your corpse to the boss will earn me recognition and a promotion," sneered the thug. "Damn, I came looking for a volunteer for my soul gem experiment, not to play rescuer. They can kill themselves for all I care." This won't turn into a habit, Naruto thought, irritation clear, as he sent a thick shadow tendril impaling the assailant's chest. The girl gasped, surprised rather than frightened, as blood splattered her dress. She stepped back while her captor collapsed, coughing blood. Calmly, Naruto approached the fallen man and pulled the soul gem from his pocket. Tossing it toward the thug, he formed a hand seal, the 13th seal used by the Shinigami. Soul trap. The alley glowed with purple light as the gem linked to the dying man. A thin thread appeared as the thug's soul flowed into the amethyst. The gem pulsed thrice before the light faded. Soul trap successful. Well done, Naru-kun. Shinigami-sama would be proud, Kurama praised. I need to eliminate that glow must be subtle when capturing souls, especially in public, Naruto muttered, ignoring the wide-eyed girl staring at him. He picked up the soul gem, noticing its color darken to a deeper purple. Good. At least I can distinguish empty gems from those that are full. Aya no, the girl stammered, breaking his focus. Thank you for saving me. It's nothing, Naruto replied. You're strong, she said. You defeated him with one move. He's an assassin, did you know that? Really? Yeah, I'm Yujito, by the way. Daddy told me not to talk to strangers or give out my name, but you saved me, so I'm telling you. I'm Yujito Kurama. Kurama, are you connected to the fox somehow? The girl misunderstood and giggled. Oh yes, the fox is my father, he's the head of the Kurama family. Oh right, she's a civilian. She wouldn't know about the Kyuubi, Naruto thought. Who are you? She asked. I'm Naruto, he said, extending his hand. Naruto what? I'm Yujito Kurama. Do you have a family name? Daddy will reward you for saving me. Come with me, she chattered, taking his hand and ignoring his last name. The next day Uchiha compound, so, what do you think? Naruto asked, accepting a glass of orange juice from Sasuke. I believe Itachi is a traitor. The village already believes that. Hell, the entire elemental nations do. No, I mean he betrayed his family. He chose Konoha over the Uchiha. He allowed the village to use him as a spy. I might understand if he remained neutral, but no, he killed everyone. The gesture he showed me before leaving wasn't mercy. It was a show to make me think he spared me when really, he was ordered to keep me alive. So, what will you do now? I owe you, Naruto. For telling me the truth, I offer my help. You can train with me in the Uchiha training grounds. No one else can enter without my permission. I assume my parents told you so you could come, since they're officially your guardians. You can stay here with me since we're technically brothers. My mother is your godmother. We'll train hard. When the time comes, I'll help you hunt that rogue Uchiha after I kill Itachi. And no, I don't hate you. I don't blame you for my clan being shunned by the village. We're both victims, the last of our clans. What about the village? Do you still want to be Hokage? No, I despise this village and everyone in it. Konoha deserves to burn. Naruto smiled. Good. Then it's time you learn who I really am, not just the son of the fourth Hokage and the Whirlpool heiress. The night before Naruto meets Sasuke again, Konohagakure Daddy will reward you for saving me. Come with me, the girl said quickly, pulling Naruto's hand, disregarding his last name. Naruto allowed himself to be led away from the alley. Just 2 blocks from where he rescued Yujito, they were intercepted by men dressed in fine suits. Each wore a lapel pin shaped like a blue fox and carried katanas. Yujito-sama, there you are, one of them said. I'm fine. I was discovered by an assassin from one of the nameless clans, but Naruto here rescued me. Naruto noticed the men looking at him with respect. Not once did they show any hatred or fear as they usually did when they found others. We appreciate you saving the heiress, the same man said, bowing, with the others following suit. Unsure how to respond, Naruto just nodded. The group's leader took out a radio and spoke in coded tones. After a moment, he nodded to the others and then to Naruto. The boss wishes to meet you, please. The man gestured toward a carriage, and Naruto then noticed there were 3. He and Yujito were helped into the middle one. The trip to the Kurama estate lasted about 10 minutes. Around 3 minutes in, Naruto heard horse hooves and glanced out the window, spotting 6 more carriages flanking them, 3 ahead, 3 behind, and the 2 from before on each side. Naruto, I think you just hit the jackpot. Indeed, these people don't seem to recognize me as the village's Jinchuriki. They showed no sign of knowing me when they saw me with the girl. I'm intrigued by them, a clan named Kurama with a blue fox emblem. Me too. Let's see how this unfolds. I might gain a valuable ally through their clan. Kurama Estate Yujito happily pulled Naruto inside the mansion after they stepped out of the carriage. More men in the same uniform greeted them. Naruto was awestruck as they entered the living room. The mansion was huge, but the interior felt even larger. The tapestries displayed various animals. Behind what Naruto guessed was Yujito's father, there were images of tailed beasts. His gaze lingered on the 9 tails. The clan head noticed his stare and smiled. Beautiful, aren't they, especially the fox? Naruto focused on the man and smiled. Yes, sir. You may call me Rakuto, all right. Naruto, sir. Good. Naruto-san, you may call me Rakuto. It's not my real name but Rado. They call me that because of my lovely daughter here. I am deeply grateful to you for saving her life. Rakuto is the name of the sage, Naruto said, a bit puzzled. Indeed. And my precious Yujito here. You two are gods. Naruto's eyes widened. Rakuto, Yujito, and some men chuckled. No, Naruto-san, my daughter is special, that's all. Realization hit Naruto as he looked at Yujito. You're like me. Everyone in the room fell silent. What did you say? Asked Rakuto. She's like me, a host. Is that so? The man leaned forward, interested. Yes, sir. You didn't know? No, we didn't. But the entire village knows. This will be interesting. We'll continue this over dinner. Please follow me, I'm sure you're hungry. During the meal, Naruto revealed he was the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. He learned Yujito was the Two-Tails Jinchuriki. We moved here just 2 weeks ago. We were originally from Hidden Hot Springs. My daughter was kidnapped by Kumonin and made into a Jinchuriki. We rescued her but lost some men. After that, I increased security and hired ninja. For months, Kumo kept sending kidnappers every 10 days and my men dealt with them. It became tiresome. So we relocated to Hidden Waterfall. We stayed 2 months, but left when we learned how the village treated their Jinchuriki. I see, you won't stay here long then, Naruto said. Seeing their confused looks, he shared about his life in Konoha. I want to see that village burn, watch their clans suffer, scream in agony, begging for mercy, the mercy they never showed me or my clan. Then why do you remain? Naruto didn't answer, only grinned darkly. The guards listening felt a chill. I'm not sure if I'm ready to tell you yet. I understand, Rikudo replied seriously. Maybe I can earn more of your trust by telling you I will grant you anything you desire for saving my daughter. That sounds promising. Are you sure anything? Yes, as long as it's humanly possible. What is your wish? Simple, I want to make a proposal to your clan. Rikudo raised an eyebrow. I'm a skilled shinobi. Though only an academy student, my abilities rival those of Chunin from this wretched village. I excel at Fuinjutsu and will be a sealing master soon. I'm secretly wealthy. I own a 5-star hotel and am building another. Your clan can establish its base there. If you stay, my hotel is the safest place. Your daughter won't face kidnapping again. I will also teach her the shinobi arts, maybe even more. After all, I'm host to the strongest tailed beast. That's a solid offer. What do you want in exchange? I want command over your men. If I have business to handle, I can count on them. Also, whoever trains Yujito will teach me swordsmanship. Finally, I want the Kurama clan's allegiance. The head was silent, so Naruto continued. I'm just 8, but I know how adults think. I understand syndicate organizations too. I've done some dirty work myself. I can share if you agree to my proposal. Rikudo chuckled. Honestly, I thought you'd ask for a marriage contract with my daughter. I'm not interested in that yet. Maybe when I'm older I'll ask for her hand. Naruto smirked, Yujito blushed. Usually, a clan head would refuse such a deal, but since I promised to grant you anything possible, I will honor it. Your offer is good and rare. It would strengthen our clan's name to have the host of the Kyuubi, also named Kurama, as a figurehead. I accept. Very well. Naruto nodded and shook hands with Rikudo. We'll formalize everything tomorrow afternoon. Here's my hotel address. I'll prepare the documents and rooms. We're moving in already? Yujito asked. Of course. Now that we're allies, your safety is priority. The sooner you're in the hotel, the better. You never know when your biju might expose you. You haven't bonded yet. My place has seals blocking strong chakra detection. You speak like you don't need protection, Yujito pouted. Naruto smiled. You saw me kill that man earlier. Trust me, I can protect myself. If I face someone stronger, I have a way to escape. You'll learn more about me tomorrow. I'll take my leave. Thanks for hosting me. Naruto stood and bowed. No, Naruto-san, we thank you, Rikudo said, standing and bowing. Naruto shook hands with the boss and Yujito before being escorted out and into the same carriage. During the ride, he took out his fully charged soul gem and smiled. Good night. Well done, Naruto, Kurama said before resting. The following day, current time Uchiha residence, I see spirits, Naruto said quietly. Sasuke blinked, you mean in dreams? Nope. While you're awake, exactly, Sasuke looked puzzled. Spirits like the dead, people in graves or coffins, Naruto gave a nod. How often do these visions happen? Every time I take a life, Naruto answered with a sinister chuckle. Sasuke forced a weak laugh, feeling uneasy. But seriously, Sasuke, I truly see them, souls. I was gifted by death itself, by the Shinigami. How did that happen? It was during the sealing of the Kyuubi. My father performed the Shiki Fujin. Naruto explained how his mother became the Shinigami's next host, how she foresaw his future, and the powers she passed to him. He kept his Jujutsu hidden from Sasuke. That was a secret for himself alone. Naruto only shared that he could perceive and command souls. That revelation unsettled the boy, and it would also make him more devoted to Naruto. Sasuke would be cautious about crossing him. I trust you. I guess that's why you have access to such classified info, Sasuke said, recalling the documents Naruto gave him. Exactly, Naruto smiled. So what's the plan now? For now, we train, but before that we need to eliminate a certain prisoner before he roots his way out. Root Danzo, yes, you said eliminate. Yes, we're going to kill someone. Yes, we are. He has gravely wronged both our clans. He tried to steal from yours. He must be dealt with. You'll be the one to kill him. Kill? We're only 8 years old. We are already 8, Naruto corrected. And I made my first kill at 7. Without another word, Naruto left the compound, not sparing a glance at the shocked boy. The following day, Naruto's hotel, it was afternoon, and the Kurama family had settled into the hotel. Rikudo, Yujito, and the rest occupied the rooms beneath Naruto's penthouse. Naruto was reviewing documents and land deeds. He had just persuaded the owner of the apartment next door to sell it. Demolition was scheduled for the next day. The new hotel to be built there would become the Kurama family's official headquarters. After putting away the folders, Naruto pulled a crate from under the table onto his desk. Inside was a small crossbow. Rikudo had gifted it to him earlier that morning. The weapon was new, set for market release next month. Their crime syndicate's black market connections had secured thousands ahead of time. The crossbow was compact enough to hide in a sleeve, designed for stealth. Naruto studied it, planning to modify it into a semi-automatic. Instead of manually reloading each bolt, risking exposure, he intended to attach a scroll containing the bolts. Each shot would trigger a seal on the scroll, dropping a bolt into the weapon, enabling rapid reloading while staying hidden. After testing several shots, he packed the crossbow back into its crate and stood. It was still early, so he decided to seal some souls. He'd nearly forgotten the people trapped in sealing scrolls, those who tried to kill him when he moved into his apartment-turned-hotel. They were alive but comatose. It was time for them to die. When he first captured them, he was weak, lacking mastery over his dark element and unable to seal souls into Kagatsuchi. Now, with 2 years of training, he could wield the weapon and seal souls into it. He had already done so during the Uchiha massacre last week. Time to finalize the sealing. He sensed his control over his dark element strengthening. Soon, his Kurigan dark eye would reach the 4th stage, granting the power to resurrect the dead. Later that night, Uchiha residence ready? Naruto asked. Sasuke nodded, bracing himself though Naruto sensed his unease. Here, Naruto handed Sasuke Kagatsuchi, shaped as a katana. It feels so cold, Sasuke murmured, gripping the sword's hilt. Indeed, Naruto nodded. This is Kagatsuchi, a sentient blade. Normally, anyone but me who holds her dies. Tonight, I'm letting you wield her. You'll deliver the killing blow to Danzo. All right, what's the plan? Since he's only accused of theft, Danzo is held on the prison's 2nd floor. He has his own cell apart from the others. That bastard enjoys VIP treatment. His trial is tomorrow. The ghosts tell me his root agents plan a breakout at 10 tonight. We'll wait hidden, with ghosts as lookouts. Once they arrive, you create a distraction while I free Danzo. Then we leave as soon as the guards spot us with him. We'll wear root uniforms, here. After changing into root gear, Sasuke nodded to Naruto. Grab my arm. We're heading to Danzo's cell floor. Konohagakure prison's 2nd level hidden in shadows. Sasuke stood near the stairs, Naruto in front of Danzo's separate cell, watching the man pretend to sleep. There here, Kasumi's head appeared around a corner. Naruto sent a shadowy tendril to tug Sasuke's sleeve, signaling to start. Stepping from the shadows, Sasuke unleashed 3 fireballs in quick succession, startling guards. Other prisoners cried out, drawing more guards' attention. Danzo ceased pretending and stood. An agent emerged from the opposite wall, holding keys. The cell door opened, but Danzo couldn't move. Confused, he soon felt chains wrap around him. Blindfolded, he had no idea what was happening. Valley of the End Naruto, Sasuke, and Danzo reappeared atop Madara Uchiha's statue. The boys removed their root masks and stared at their captive, who had no sight. The chill of the prison vanished, replaced by cold winds. Danzo felt water droplets and heard rushing water. Concentrating gave him a headache. He realized he hung upside down. Hello, Naruto greeted cheerfully. Let's keep intros brief. I'm Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Lord of Whirlpool. This is Sasuke Uchiha, future clan head. We're the last survivors of the clans you ordered destroyed. You stole my cousin's eyes and tried to take more, Sasuke spat, his guilt fading as rage grew. Now that's done, the show begins. Sasuke, Kasumi, Shisui watch carefully. Ghostly figures shimmered around them, visible only to Naruto. Naruto pulled pliers from his vest, stepped forward, and willed the chains to hold Danzo's left thumb steady. He snapped the nail. Danzo bit his lip in pain, bleeding. Naruto moved to the forefinger, crushing the nail. Danzo whimpered. He proceeded finger by finger. Danzo screamed, "How dare you, do you know who I am? Danzo Shimura. My root agents will hunt you." Naruto ignored him, snapping the rest of the fingernails. Danzo panted from pain. "Torture won't break me, I won't say a word." Naruto chuckled at the bloody fingers. Sasuke watched, horrified yet fascinated. "Who said this was for info? This is just pure torture. Some call it petty revenge for destroying our clans, but payback is payback." Naruto then snapped Danzo's toenails. The old man cried out even louder. Sasuke no longer felt pity. Sasuke, want to try?" Naruto asked, sealing the pliers and pulling out a hammer. "What do I do?" Sasuke stepped forward. "Use the hammer to crush his fingers, hands, and toes. Take your time. Make it slow, we want him to endure." Naruto replied as he handed the hammer to the boy. "Go ahead, your parents are watching, they're right here." The blonde urged him on. Sasuke nodded and started pounding on the old man's limbs. Each strike echoed with the crunch of bones breaking, smashing, and splintering. "You're doing well, your parents are proud," Naruto said. Sasuke swelled with pride and hammered harder with renewed determination. By the time he finished, Danzo's voice was hoarse from screaming. He couldn't access his chakra to heal since it was sealed, or so he believed. Unbeknownst to him, Naruto's unique chakra chains were siphoning his chakra, blocking his body from releasing more. Coupled with Naruto's sealing skills, Danzo struggled to escape, still weakened from fighting those beasts and having lost his Mokuton-enhanced arm. The healing power from the Shadame's DNA once helped him, but those cells were now gone. Worn out already." Naruto's voice roused Danzo, who was drifting to unconsciousness. Naruto loosened the chains and let him fall to the floor. Then he pulled a sledgehammer from his scroll and swung it down. "Wake up!" Danzo howled in agony as Naruto smashed his right knee. "You bastard, you think you can activate your seals? No fucking way, I'm suppressing them. I'm an Uzuamaki. A clan UDSTROID," Naruto screamed furiously, breaking the other knee. "AAAAH," Naruto roared, smashing the old man's collarbone. Then he resealed the tool and stepped back. "Do it," he whispered to Sasuke. Sasuke nodded, stepped forward, and raised Kagatsuchi. "This is for the Uchiha," he yelled as he sliced Danzo from head to toe. Then the weapon's red eyes began glowing fiercely. Sasuke dropped it as it grew icy cold. Naruto pulled out a fresh scroll and sealed Danzo's body inside, then took back Kagatsuchi. Sasuke watched amazed as the sword transformed into a scythe. Naruto looked like the Grim Reaper. "It's done," Sasuke whispered. "One down, 3 left," Naruto said, placing a hand on Sasuke's shoulder as shadows enveloped them. Naruto dropped Sasuke off at the Uchiha compound and went to his family home. The next day, Namikaze residence, Naruto was in his father's study, with a dozen brushes, bottles of ink, and hundreds of scrolls spread around. Standing in the center, he wielded Kagatsuchi in her original sword form. A reinforced clone made from his dark chakra stood before him. Naruto held the claymore tip down, raised it, then stabbed the floor. The eyes inscribed on the blade glowed, and moments later, Danzo's soul poured out. "How may I serve you, Naruto-sama?" the ghost asked. "I want you to possess this clone and write everything about yourself on these scrolls. Record everything from childhood to death. All your secrets, plans, and everything about Root. Not a single detail missed. I want all information you have." "As you wish, Naruto-sama," Danzo said flatly. Naruto nodded as the ghost took control of the clone and began writing. A gate guard ghost phased in through the door and knelt before Naruto. "Naruto-sama, a group from Kirigakure has entered the village. One among them possesses cage-level chakra reserves." "I see. I want to know their purpose." At that moment, a Kiri Jounin ghost appeared, reporting on Kiri's bloodline purges and ongoing civil war. "I see, so Mei Terumi has come seeking Konoha's assistance." "Yes," Naruto grinned. The moment had come for him, and the original to reunite. Konohagakure, the village, was in turmoil. A notorious bloodline thief had escaped prison. Clan heads demanded a meeting with the Hokage, wary of attacks from Danzo's organization and the theft of their bloodlines. Hiruzen had bigger concerns. Due to last night's chaos, they missed a message from Kiri about their arrival, so he was surprised when his ANBU alerted him. "Hokage's office, apologies for the poor reception. The village has been restless since last night, and I'm still handling things, Hiruzen bowed. I understand, Hokage-sama, Mei nodded. Let's get straight to the point. What brings you to Konoha? I'm sure you've heard about Kiri's troubles, if not you would soon have. You're asking for Konoha's support. I assume you lead the opposition. Do you require supplies, fighters, or both? Only fighters. We have enough supplies. When do you expect the main conflict? In about 8 months, with more recruits, possibly 6 months. Understood. Mei raised an eyebrow. Konoha is dealing with difficulties too, beyond the Uchiha massacre. Many of my nin have disappeared over nearly 2 years. Last night, our main suspect escaped prison. Hiruzen intended to blame Danzo, hoping it became public knowledge. It would be best if other villages learned that Konoha's own Jinchuriki were killing villagers. Besides, the third felt guilt toward the young orphan and couldn't blame him. I see. Can I count on reinforcements? Maybe. If we produce enough new ninja, it won't be an issue. I'll send a message if we can spare people. If you don't hear from us in 6 months, forgive us. I understand, Hokage-sama. Both our villages face tough times. Indeed, Hiruzen nodded sadly. I must leave, we must find more allies. Mei stood. As she left, the Kiri Jounin ghost departed to report the meeting. Later, at Naruto's hotel, that's good. My soul gems should absorb Jounin-level souls by then, discreetly. I still need to work on the light the crystal emits when trapping souls. Should I follow Mei's group, Naruto-sama? The ghost asked. That's best, Naruto nodded. Mother, what should I do? Ask Mito's ghost. She knows Kirigakure better than I do. Right, Kagatsuchi to me. The ground rippled as the claymore rose. Naruto grasped it, channeling dark chakra and concentrating on shadow travel. He still needed 3 jumps before reaching Whirlpool. His dark chakra reserves needed growth. Uzashigakure ruins, welcome back. The original is underground. Seals blocking chakra detection are in place, greeted the last Uzukage. Mito-sama and the other Uzukages are here too. Later, after merging, Naruto was found in the Uzukage's office, speaking with past leaders of Whirlpool. Welcome back, how do you feel? Stronger. After some meditation I sense my chakra rose by 30%. Kurama's by 10, how is that possible? The Uzukages smiled. Naruto smiled and nodded. Of course, Fuinjutsu. Now, young prince, you wish to discuss Kiri. Yes, wait, prince. Yes, Mito replied. You're the first Uzumaki survivor to return and stay here more than 3 months despite the ruins. Some have forgotten their homeland, others don't know their heritage. Enough about that. We'll discuss that when you enact your plan for the Uzumaki. For now, we focus on battle plans against Kiri. Naruto gave a nod and sat up straighter in his chair. Understood. You've studied the 5 greatest villages and know why Kiri has the smallest military among them. However, the academy never explained this to you. Here's the reason. Their graduation process differs from the others. They force all academy graduates into a deadly tournament until only one survives or the allotted time expires. That clears things up. Funny enough, I was planning to eliminate as many as I could from both sides. Do elaborate. First, I need you to analyze this seal. Naruto pulled out a scroll. It grants complete control over his root operatives. It basically stops them from revealing any secrets. The old phantom told me the seals will stay on their tongues for an entire year after his death, giving them time to erase any trace of him and his root faction. The Uzukages leaned in, scrutinizing the seal. I admit, this is impressive seal craftsmanship. The formation is complex. Give us 5 days to study it, 7 at most. Leave behind 100 clones for us to possess and experiment on the seal. What alterations do you want? Currently, the seal only stops them from speaking. I want it modified to link solely to me, making those sealed utterly obedient to me. Very well. I assume these are for Danzo's root operatives. Yes, I'm sending them to Kiri to fight on my behalf. Once we finish binding root to me, I'll need your assistance with my soul gems. Right now, they can only trap genin-level souls and are too conspicuous. Before deploying root to Kiri, I want the soul gems upgraded to trap souls up to low cage levels silently and without any light. No problem. Good. I'll return in a week. Naruto exited the chamber and walked into an open space. After creating 100 reinforced clones, he used shadow clone technique to teleport back to his Konoha hotel. Konohagakure Namikaze residence. After dropping off some belongings, he went to his parents' shrine and knelt to pray to his mother. Moments later, the air chilled as the Shinigami appeared. What is it, my son? Mother, I seek your permission to use Edo Tensei, but only once to summon Danzo. I require him to transfer Root's allegiance to me. Also, I wish to speak with Tabarama Senju's spirit to learn the jutsu. Very well. Only once. After that, you must rely on your Kuragen. I understand, mother, thank you. When she departed, Naruto rose and summoned his dark chakra. Tabarama Senju, second Hokage of Konoha, answer me. 1 week later, Uzushiagakure ruins, it's complete. You just need to infuse your chakra to bind the seal exclusively to you, Maito said, handing him a scroll. Naruto nodded, focused his 3 chakra for extra shielding, and infused it into the seal. There. Now we can replicate it and apply it to your agents. Thank you, Uzukages. You're welcome, young one. We'll begin enhancing the soul gems next. I'll help apply the seals to Root. Naruto bowed respectfully, then unrolled a scroll, summoned a Kiri Anbu corpse and crouched. Edo Tensei. The reanimated body blinked, then assessed its surroundings. Seal. Danzo knelt before Naruto, bowing submissively. Return to your Root base. Recall everyone and place this seal on their foreheads. Then order them to merge with the Hokage Anbu until I give new commands. Understood. Anything else? Yes. Naruto slapped the loyalty seal onto Danzo's forehead as a backup in case the initial Edo Tensei control weakens. Now go. 1 month later, Konohagakure Hokage's office. It's official, Hokage-sama. Danzo-sama is dead. We now obey you as per his final order, said a lone Root operative. I see. Still, I find it hard to believe you're fully loyal now, Sarutobi frowned. Your group enabled Danzo's prison escape. Explain yourself before I order your execution. There's a misunderstanding, Hokage-sama. The ones who freed Danzo were not Root members. We believe it was a setup. The Hokage's glare hardened as he exhaled smoke from his pipe. Curious, how do you know Danzo is really dead? The Sandaime and hidden Anbu tensed as the Root agent raised his head and stuck out his tongue. They relaxed when nothing happened. As you can see, the seal binding us to him has vanished, Hokage-sama. Hiruzen nodded, finally at ease. He knew of Danzo's failsafe measures. His old comrade was paranoid. Very well. I'm integrating Root into Anbu under a new division. You shall be the captain. Understood, Hokage-sama. What are our first orders? Prepare your division for war. You've likely heard about the civil war in Kiri. You will support Mei Terumi's faction. Deployment is in 4 months. Understood. Anything else? Yes, what is your name? My last mission name was Sai, Hokage-sama. Very well, Sai. Inform your division of their new orders. Hi. Later, Naruto's hotel. Good news, Naruto-sama. An Anbu ghost said. What is it? Root has merged with Anbu under a new division. I expected that. The good news, the Hokage is sending them to Kiri in 4 months. I see. He doesn't trust them. Sending them to war means if they die, no more Root problems. Plus, an alliance if Mei Terumi wins, a double advantage. But the Hokage doesn't know I have other plans. 4 months later, Konohagakure, the village was recovering after the Uchiha massacre. New recruits from Chunin to Anbu had arrived. Graduations were due, adding more genins, about 300 total. Not bad, thought Hiruzen. Uzushiagakure ruins, is everyone here? Naruto asked the black-clad shinobi before him. Yes, Naruto-sama. All 70 are present, Sai replied. Good. Here are your soul gems, Naruto said, distributing scrolls. Each of you gets 50. I expect 3,500 filled soul gems when you return. Capture every soul possible. If an allied Kiri ninja falls, trap their soul before it fades. We know we're just cannon fodder to the Sandaime. That's why I'm shielding you with my dark chakra. It can withstand up to 20 fatal blows. Don't die or face my punishment. I want those Kiri souls. You are too generous, Naruto-sama. We will obey, replied the 70. Later, Konohagakure Academy. Naruto quietly entered. Uruka was so absorbed in his speech he didn't notice him. A celebration of our increased military strength. Also, exemplary students from all levels will be recognized, not just graduates. Inform your parents so they can attend. Naruto settled into his usual seat at the back, hearing Sasuke hiss. Where have you been? Business meeting. You're lucky it's almost roll call. Sasuke replied as Uruka called on Aburame Shino. After roll call, the class was disrupted when a newly appointed instructor approached Uruka for assistance, as he was struggling with his own students. As the 2 teachers exited, quiet murmurs arose among the students. One boy sniffed loudly and loudly declared, I pity. the room immediately fell silent as they listened closely. Those who can't join in the festivities because they are now orphans. How tragic that their parents won't be there to celebrate on stage. All eyes shifted to the pair seated in the back. They gazed at Sasuke with either sympathy or unease, waiting for his response. Only 2 students paid attention to Naruto, both members of the Hyuga clan. Sasuke simply shrugged at his peers and resumed doodling in his notebook. Meanwhile, Naruto's gaze stayed fixed on the boy. What was his name again? Kodo? Yeah, that's really sad. Naruto noticed Hinata and Neji watching him and quickly masked his expression. I wonder if those 2 would catch on when I take out that brat's parents. Kurama, eavesdropping on his thoughts, burst out laughing. Or maybe the Kurama clan should handle it. Yeah, after all, the kids' folks are just civilians. The class was pulled from their thoughts as Uruka returned to the room and began the lesson. Later, after classes Naruto's hideout, I want you to fulfill a kid's wish, Naruto stated. And what's that? Guy, one of the family's captains, inquired. The kid wants to be orphaned, Naruto replied, handing over 2 folders. I see. I overheard him once bragging about beating his parents' employee, calling him a slave. The male Hyuga in our class isn't fond of the kid either, I'm sure. I'm just looking out for the workers, trying to be the good guy here. Understood, merchants, this might call for people outside Konoha. That's fine, it's Monday, dig up any dirt on their operations. I want them eliminated by Thursday night, their bodies discovered by early Friday morning. Consider it done. Friday morning Kodo household Ron Kodo was a cheerful boy. Today was the recognition ceremony. While he wasn't top of the class, he certainly wasn't at the bottom. He felt proud. He happily ate breakfast served by his slave. Soon he noticed he was eating alone, but didn't mind. His parents were likely still at work. They'd be home in an hour, plenty of time to catch up before the ceremony at 11. On his way to school, humming, he failed to notice the sympathetic glances from nearby merchants. A crowd had gathered around one market stall, creating some commotion. But Ron ignored it. Probably a special item or sale, he thought. Academy. The students listened attentively to Uruka's instructions for the program. Suddenly, a knock sounded and an ANBU appeared. The masked ninja's eyes locked on Ron Kodo. Is there a problem, sir? Ron asked. I believe it's best we talk privately. All right. They exited the room and headed to an adjacent one. Ino, one of the class's gossipers, pricked up her ears. The students didn't have to wait long, cries soon echoed. No, that can't be. I'm not going to an orphanage. Uruka's eyes widened in realization. Some students looked confused at first, but quickly understood when Ino explained that the bodies of Mr. and Mrs. Kodo had been found in the market. They say his parents stole from a gang outside the village and tried to sell the goods here, Ino said. The class was horrified, feeling pity for their classmate. At the back, Sasuke hissed at Naruto. You didn't need to do that. I wasn't doing it for you. Only 2 others paid attention back there. Hinata saw Naruto smirking and assumed it was because he felt vindictive after Ron's comments on Monday. Neji, however, caught Naruto's smirk directed at him and returned it knowingly. 2 days after the academy recognition, Monday, Konohagakure Hokage's office. Despite the recent deaths, village life continued smoothly. Luckily, no other academy students or family members had died. Ron had visited the Hokage just yesterday, demanding justice for his parents' deaths. However, after investigating, it was discovered the boy's parents dealt with gangs outside the village. Hiruzen dropped the case, and Ron was sent to an orphanage. Just then, an ANBU no older than 10 appeared. Damn that Danzo, recruiting kids and sending them on missions so young, Sarutobi sighed, eyeing the root operative. The mission succeeded, Hokage-sama. Mei Terumi's faction has prevailed, Sai reported, kneeling. Excellent news, continue. Indeed, Hokage-sama, she is now the 5th Mizukage. She asked me to tell you to expect her visit within the week to discuss a Leaf Mist alliance. Very well, and your division, your pay will be ready tomorrow. Only 21 of us remain. Most fell battling the 4th Mizukage. Understandable, the Hokage nodded. You may take 3 days off. Thank you, Hokage-sama. I should assign them to more perilous, near-suicide missions. I can't have Danzo's ANBU operating under my watch, Hiruzen mused, puffing his pipe. Better mercy to have them killed outright. Later Naruto's hideout. Naruto paced his study, plotting when Sai entered. Mission. Harvest Souls was a success, Naruto-sama. The lead route ANBU reported, handing over 3 large scrolls containing soul gems. Naruto nodded in approval. He now possessed about 5,000 souls, only 4,000 more needed to revive all of Uzushiagakure. Report. Yes, we gathered the requested souls from enemies and Kiri rebels alike. 49 operatives died during the battle. Good. Have those 49 start infiltrating and recruiting in Kiri. Fu and Torun will oversee. Mist still recovering from war and eager to enlist ninjas, even non-natives. Understood, Naruto-sama. From now on, you're no longer Root, you're my shadows. You have 4 years to recruit and train 600 new shadows. 400 in Kiri, 200 in Konoha. The Hokage will soon send 21 of you on suicide missions. He's keen to have you dead. When you fall, start recruiting and training. Now go. Later that afternoon, Hyuga compound, training grounds. Neji trained alone, practicing Dijutsu techniques he'd observed from the main branch. Finishing an attempt at the 64 palms, he heard clapping and stiffened. Impressive, Hyuga-san. You truly are gifted to perform techniques exclusive to the main branch. I didn't see you come in, Uzumaki-san, or should I say Namikaze-san, Neji smirked. Ah, so you know, I did some research after the first semester. And what have you learned? You're the son of Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze. If Uzushiagakure still existed, you'd be the heir. That's it? Naruto asked with a smile. Neji frowned. That's all, what else should I know? Naruto stepped closer and pulled out a scroll. Here, it requires a bit of your blood to lock it from others. Only you can open it. Others won't read it. But be careful, if the authorities get it, you're doomed. Deeply doomed. It's SSS rank secret, straight from the Hokage's heavily guarded vault. I made copies. Naruto grinned. Neji's eyes widened, his usual coldness fading briefly. Then why? Just read it. And before you ask, my answer is no, I don't know. Could be the Hyuga, Inuzuka, Yamanaka, Nara, Ikimichi, or Aburame clans next. I trust you'll keep it to yourself. I know you hate everyone here. That makes 3 of us. Who's the other one? Neji couldn't get a clear answer as Naruto had already disappeared. He decided to call it a day and headed back to his quarters to study the scroll. Uchiha residence, Sasuke's place. Hey Sasuke, Naruto greeted, stepping quietly out of the shadows. Sasuke acknowledged him with a nod. Naruto, I came to let you know that Neji is aware now. So you told him. I handed him a copy of the files I also gave you. I'll go into more detail next time I meet him. All right then, should I expect a visit from him soon? Yes. With that, Naruto melted back into the shadows and made his way to the Kurama family's hotel. Later at the family's hotel, Naruto, Wave was once part of Uzushiagakure, right? Rado asked as he poured a drink for the boy. Naruto accepted it gratefully and nodded. Yes, why do you ask? There's a man, Gadu. He's a businessman but acts like a gangster. Just left Kirigakure now that the war ended. Made a fortune during the conflict. Word is, he's got his sights set on Wave. Could move there within a month. I'm already sensing trouble brewing for the small town. Naruto nodded quietly, sipping his drink in thought. Thanks for the tip, but I want you to leave Gadu and Wave alone for now. We'll watch him from afar. If he causes problems, that's even better. Then we'll be the ones to step in and take control. The Kurama head raised an eyebrow. Take control? And you said we. Does that mean the family operations will be relocating too? Naruto nodded. I've made up my mind. In 2 years, I'm leaving the village. We'll let Gadu tear Wave apart. When they finally ask for help, that's when we move in. Probably won't take more than 4 years. Rado's eyebrow lifted, but he said nothing. He trusted the Uzumaki heir's cunning. The boy was young but incredibly sharp. Naruto kept a neutral expression. He knew Rado was curious but chose not to explain. He wanted the people of Wave to suffer to be punished. After Uzushiagakure fell, they didn't aid the surviving Uzumaki. He knew this because he'd spoken with the spirits. Most of Wave's inhabitants were spineless anyway. Even if Gadu destroyed Wave, it would take years before anyone sought outside help, just enough time for Sasuke and Neji to graduate. Everything was going according to plan. So, 4 years then, Rado murmured. Exactly. Now about Yujito's training, Naruto said, performing hand seals to summon a shadow clone. Although called a shadow clone, this one was formed from his dark chakra, making it a genuine clone. He'd already told the family about the Shinigami being his mother. Since they were civilians and had no Konoha loyalties, sharing the secret wasn't an issue. Plus, Naruto was now considered Rado, the Fox Kurama's adopted son. As the clone appeared, Naruto drew Kagatsuchi and stabbed it into the ground. As usual, a circular portal opened at the spot. The son of the Shinigami intoned, "Yagura Karatachi, hear my call and obey. I summon you." Invisible to everyone but Naruto, the spirit of the fourth Mizukage knelt before him. Naruto then directed the spirit toward the shadow clone. The clone's features shifted to resemble the spirit possessing it. He turned to Reito and Yujiro. "Though I'm a Jinchuriki too, I can't train Yujiro because our tailed beast's numbers are too different. I have the Kyuubi, Yagura had the Sanbai. Their numbers are closer, so their training methods should be similar. From Monday to Friday, I'll be bringing Yujiro to Uzushiagakure so she can train freely with her Jinchuriki powers," Naruto added. "That's amazing, training with a cage," Yujiro exclaimed, making Naruto and Reito smile. Naruto dismissed the spirit, telling it to return the next morning. He spent the rest of the evening chatting casually with his adoptive family before retreating to his penthouse. The next day, Uchiha compound, training ground Sasuke, was doing his morning workout when the seals around the compound alerted him to a visitor. Expecting who it was, he went to the gate, welcomed the guest in and led him to the training area. "So you're aware, huh?" Sasuke said, leaning casually against a tree. "Yes. Do you trust Naruto?" Sasuke asked. "I see no reason not to," Neji shrugged. "Good, do you understand his status? Which, that he's the fourth son and Uzushiagakure's heir, or that he's a Jinchuriki?" "The latter," Neji frowned. "I asked around about Jinchuriki. Everyone I talked to frowned, so I guess it's a bad thing, but I think that's just bias. I'm still figuring it out." "You're right about the bias. Anyone over 12 is either prejudiced or intolerant." Sasuke straightened and gestured for Neji to follow him. As they walked toward Sasuke's house, he recounted what had happened 8 years prior, up to the Uchiha massacre. Neji stayed quiet, absorbing the information. After a pause, Sasuke asked, "So, what do you think of Naruto and the village?" "My opinion of Naruto hasn't changed. If anything, I respect him more now. As for the village, I was right. Most people here are fools. Even the leaders allow terrible things to happen. My resentment toward this place has only deepened." Naruto, cloaked in shadows, grinned. He'd been at the compound since Neji's arrival, listening. "That Uchiha boy is loyal to you, that's good. Looks like you might gain another ally," Kurama remarked. After hearing Neji's answer, Naruto decided it was time to reveal himself. "Well put, Neji." The usually composed Hyuga jumped, surprised, while Sasuke chuckled. "You'll get used to it." "Naruto, how long have you been there?" "Long enough to hear your reply." "I see, what's next?" "I'll be straightforward. I want you to reject the Academy's offer to skip a grade." "What? Why?" Sasuke asked, shocked. "I have plans, ones that need both of you." "Tell us about the plan involving us," Neji said. "I want you two to stay with your current classmates. When you graduate, you'll be assigned to the same team. To make that happen, one of you has to be last in class, the other top. You can both stay near the top until 5th grade. Team placement depends only on 6th grade scores. I don't care who's last, you decide." Neji was quiet and Sasuke thought for a moment. Then he asked, "What's in it for us?" "At least one of you thinks." Naruto grinned. "If you agree, starting tomorrow an ANBU will train you, personally." "One trainer for both of us or separate ones?" Neji asked. "One each," Naruto replied. This wouldn't be a problem. He'd found a temporary fix for not being able to resurrect the dead. Creating special shadow clones for spirits to possess used an eighth of his dark chakra, but it solved his problem, even if he had to remake the clones twice daily. Naruto figured it'd take 2 or 3 years before he could unlock the 4th level of his Kuregen. Neji and Sasuke exchanged nods, the latter flashing a sly grin. "You sure drive a hard bargain, Naruto," Sasuke commented. "True, we only have to decline the grade skip but still get trained ahead of schedule," Neji added. "So, what's your plan? Or at least why do we need to form a team?" "Oh, no problem. I plan to accept the grade skip. Then I'll dominate the 4th grade and get offered another skip. That'll put me in 6th grade. In the 2nd semester, I leave the village. It's easier if I go as a civilian, not a registered genin. I can erase my academy records easily. The reason for skipping grades is to meet more academy students. Remember my intro. I'll tell them the same thing. Before I leave, I want academy students to discover or guess my lineage. By the time I'm gone, the fact that I'm the 4th Hokage son will be common knowledge in Konoha. Sarutobi won't be able to stop it. The village will be thrown into chaos. Plus, my father's enemies will come snooping around, even more disorder, Naruto said, smirking at the last part. Sly, Neji muttered, grinning. Count me in. Same here, Sasuke said. So, who's the third member of our team? Whoever tops the graduating class of girls. But looking at things now, probably the Haruno girl, Naruto replied with a shrug. Can't you do something so she's not on our team? Nope, don't worry about her, she's a huge fangirl. She'll be the first casualty once we go on missions, Naruto said. Now, there's another thing. Since you'll be the best team, I figure Kakashi Hatake will be your Jounin sensei. Trust me, he's useless. He'll keep you stuck doing D-rank missions. What I want is for you to drag it out. Keep taking D-ranks. Eventually, a mission from the Land of Waves will arrive. Make sure you don't accept it. Let another team handle it. Both Hyuga and Uchiha agreed to the strange request without pressing for more details. After all, following Naruto's plan meant training under ANBU. Oh, one last thing. Act hostile toward each other in public. That's it. Your teachers will meet you tomorrow, Naruto said before slipping into a shadowed corner and teleporting to his hotel. At Naruto's hotel, why include Hyuga? Kurama asked. I need an inside man. Sasuke will leave the village eventually too. His target is elsewhere. Neji's ambitions are smaller. His target is Hinata, though I doubt he'll kill her. Maybe maim or cripple her, but murder. No, he hates her, but not enough to abandon the village. Time skip, 2 years and 6 months. Local barbecue restaurant Kin worked part-time at a barbecue joint. Like everyone, he had a secret. He was a spy from Iwa. It was Tuesday afternoon, and 3 academy students were having snacks. As Kin took their orders, he discreetly eavesdropped. What's got you so smug, Jin? You've been annoying since morning, one kid asked. Oh, I got some hot info, Jin replied, grinning widely. Come on, spill it, the last kid urged. There's a price, Jin said. What were your friends, the first said. This info's too good to share for free. How about we buy you lunch all week, offered the last kid. That's pricey, the first exclaimed. Deal if I tell you we'll be famous. What, that good, the first kid asked. Yeah. So deal? Fine, both agreed. Remember Naruto, the one who skipped 2 grades? Yeah. Remember his intro, he said he was the last of his clan from both parents' sides. His mother's clan had many enemies and his father did too. Well, I was looking at Hawkage Mountain earlier, and Naruto's face popped into my head. He looks just like the 4th Hawkage. What? Both friends shouted, standing. Come see, Jin gestured to a nearby window and pointed outside. See, he asked. Whoa, you're right, said one. No wonder he's a genius, he's the 4th Hawkage's son, the other said. Yeah. He said he uses his mother's name to hide from his dad's foes. But the Uzumaki clan is strong too, with many enemies. I remember that lesson about how Iwa, Kumo, and Kiri joined forces to destroy Uzumaki. They're powerful. Wow, exactly, Jin said. Now you know why I'm so smug. Lunch on you this week. Sigh, fine. We'll be famous tomorrow, friends with Naruto, the school genius, the Hawkage's son. Hell yeah, the kids returned to their meal, plotting to befriend Naruto. Kin, eager to pass the news, told the manager he was on break and left. Kakashi Hatake, tasked to watch Kin, stumbled out, shaken. He lost track of Kin and went to a bar for a drink, needing to calm down. After the others left, the kids finished eating. Jin told them to go on while he stayed. Once out of sight, he vanished. At Naruto's hotel, Naruto was discussing weapons with Rado when one of his trained shadows arrived. Ah, Jin. How did it go? Mission was smooth, Naruto-sama. ANBU Hatake failed to follow the spy Kin. Kin is sending news to his Tsuchikage now. Might guy happen to pass by and heard our talk. He'll be shouting about Naruto-sama being the Hokage's son tomorrow during training. Naruto nodded as the shadow left. He chuckled to Rado. His secret would be out sooner than expected. Well, I'm off to the academy. Time to erase my records. The next day, Wednesday, Konoha, Northern District, YOSH. Today is a day of youthful spirit. The ANBU nearby groaned inwardly as Might Guy shouted about youth, ready for his usual morning drill. The 4th HOKAGE SMILES upon ME. This training is dedicated to his son, the top student at the academy, Naruto-san. His voice carried, catching every ANBU's attention. Guy either didn't notice or didn't care. Naruto-san's flame of youth burns bright. Let's begin with 500 push UPS. Genma and Rado, bodyguards to the 4th Hawkage, patrolling nearby, exchanged glances and made hand signs to hidden ANBU, alerting them to investigate this Naruto. Academy Uruka Yumino quietly hummed as he passed a cluster of students gathered closely, deep in discussion. A gentle smile appeared on his face, assuming they were talking about their assignments. He gave a small nod to Mizuki, a fellow instructor who also noticed the chatting students. Uruka proceeded toward his classroom. He had about 5 minutes before the bell announced the start of the first lesson. While walking the hallway, he spotted 2 other groups of students engaged in animated talks. He paid them no mind as he finally entered his classroom, where he would teach 6th graders first. As Uruka stepped inside, the students ceased their murmuring and took their seats. Yet, 3 pupils seemed oblivious to his arrival. Jin and his companions remained grouped together, whispering fervently, appearing noticeably disturbed. Clearing his throat, Uruka managed to capture their attention. Before they returned to their desks, the trio exchanged nervous glances toward an empty seat. Following their gaze, Uruka recognized whose spot remained unoccupied: Uzumaki Naruto's. How strange! Naruto has never been tardy before, Uruka mused, marking attendance. Time slipped by as the mid-morning break neared its end. Uruka made his way to his 3rd class of the day, this time teaching 4th graders. Sasuke Uchiha and Neji Hyuga's class. I still can't fathom why they chose not to skip grades like Naruto did. Speaking of Naruto, where could he be? He missed a major quiz today. My hearing is sharp, thank you. We don't just rely on smell. Kiba's irritated shout interrupted Uruka's thoughts. With 5 minutes before the 3rd class began, Uruka settled in to listen to Kiba's conversation with Shino, Choji, and Shikamaru. That's what I overheard from the 6th graders as I passed them earlier. Kiba, we trust you. But Shino's right. It'd be wise to find out why they're discussing the 4th Hokage first, Shino said calmly. Maybe the 6th graders need to revisit their Hokage history, Choji offered. What do you think, Shikamaru? I might know the reason, the Nara drawled. Still, I agree with Shino, we should dig deeper. Let's just keep tabs on the rumors. If it's something important, the whole academy will hear about it soon enough. You know how fast gossip spreads here, even from 6th graders. We'll talk again on Friday. The bell rang, and Uruka stood to take attendance, prepared to listen to the chatter about the 4th Hokage or whatever it was concerning him. 2 days later, Friday, not only were the ANBU conducting their discreet inquiries, but some Jonins with spare time also began gathering information. They learned from teachers that a student named Naruto Uzumaki was somewhat well known for his outstanding academic achievements at the academy. However, lacking any formal cause for investigation, they could not request access to his records. Only school personnel, instructors, and guardians had clearance to view such files. Consequently, no one was aware that Naruto Uzumaki's files and records had mysteriously vanished. Might Guy's loud enthusiasm for youth, particularly regarding Naruto, caught the attention of some civilians. Since the locals only knew of that demon brat, they failed to connect him with the son of the 4th Hokage they had heard about. Many of these civilians had children enrolled in the academy, naturally curious to learn more about him. Academy. As Uruka walked to his first class, he noticed yet more groups of students clustered, whispering eagerly. Words like son, Naruto Uzumaki, and 4th Hokage floated through the snippets he overheard. He exchanged a look with Mizuki, who was walking toward him the opposite way. Mizuki's frown deepened, appearing more concerned than the day before. Uruka dismissed the thought as he reached his classroom. This time the students didn't notice him at all, absorbed in their conversations. I think it's true, one student said. Definitely, his self-introduction said it all, another replied. Yeah, and you can totally see the resemblance, another pointed out, gesturing toward the Hokage mountain visible from the window. The class murmured in agreement. Do you think that's why he's absent? Now that the school knows about his true lineage? Could be. Or maybe it's just coincidence that he's sick right now. Uruka interrupted and began the lesson. Time passed quickly, and Uruka found himself heading to his 3rd class. He arrived 10 minutes early, eager to hear Shikamaru Nara's thoughts on the rumors. So, what did you find out? Choji asked as Shino's tracking bugs returned. My bugs confirm most students are buzzing about the same thing. Naruto Uzumaki being the 4th Hokage's son. Ha, told you, Kiba exclaimed. Tusk, so the entire school knows, or will soon. I was right all along, Shikamaru muttered. What do you mean? Kiba asked, puzzled. Shikamaru sighed. Naruto Uzumaki is the son of the 4th Hokage and the late Uzushiagakure princess. What? Choji nearly shouted. This is troublesome, but look. Shikamaru stood and pointed to the Hawkage Mountain. See the resemblance. Kiba and Choji stared in awe. Shino remained expressionless. If you recall his introduction 2 years ago, he said he took his mother's surname because his father had many enemies. He skipped first grade for the same reason. That tells us his mother was in Uzumaki. Only 2 Uzumaki women ever married into Konoha, Lady Mito, wife of the first Hokage, and Lady Kushina, wife of the fourth. Initially, I thought Naruto might be a survivor from Uzumaki, not born here. But now, seeing his likeness to the Hokages, we can deduce who his parents must be. Unbeknownst to Uruka and the students, others overheard the talk. Genma and Reido nodded silently to each other before departing. Pakun, assigned by Kakashi to gather intel, sniffed the air and vanished in a wisp of smoke. Neji and Sasuke exchanged cautious glances. Hinata hid her face from the group. Mizuki, searching for Uruka, caught snippets outside the classroom. Without entering, he hurried off toward the academy's student registry. Uzumaki meanwhile, Naruto idly observed Yujito's training session. His focus broke when a ghostly figure appeared before him. Naruto, having spent much time in Whirlpool and knowing many past Uzumaki spirits, was puzzled by this new apparition of a woman gazing at him with pleading eyes. You're in Uzumaki, I've never met you before. Who are you? Naruto asked, frowning. I'm Katarina, one of the survivors, the spirit replied with a bow. I see, why am I only seeing you now? I recently passed away. That makes sense, Naruto murmured. Please, Naruto-sama, you're the only one I can turn to. I need your help, my daughter needs your help. I can't resurrect souls yet. No, she's alive, she's alone now that I'm gone. Tell me everything I need to know, Naruto ordered. My daughter and I lived peacefully in a small town until bandits attacked and burned it down. We were left with nowhere to go until a jonin from Kusagakure found us. To earn shelter, I worked as a healer for them. I didn't realize they were at war until they forced me to work overtime. They recognized me as an Uzumaki and exploited my healing powers, making me heal non-stop. After 5 days, my body collapsed from chakra exhaustion. I died an hour ago. I sought you immediately after speaking with other spirits. Please, Naruto-sama, I beg you to rescue my daughter. I fear Kusagakure will abuse her next. Naruto nodded in acknowledgement and rose to his feet. Show me the way to her. Outskirts of Kusagakure, the spirit expressed deep gratitude as they journeyed through the shadow realm. They emerged at the forest's edge, close to the modest cabin where Karin was staying. Naruto melted into the shadows, sensing another living presence besides Katarina's daughter. That's Zasui, the ghost exclaimed sharply. He's come for my Karin. Naruto fixed a cold gaze on the approaching man, who undoubtedly intended to take Karin away. Once more, Naruto slipped into the shadow realm, materializing inside the small dwelling but staying concealed. Inside, he saw the girl engrossed in a book, occasionally glancing toward the door. Naruto guessed she had sensed the jonin outside. Katarina had told him her daughter possessed sensory abilities. Realizing the chakra wasn't her mother's, Karin darted to a corner and concealed herself. Fueled by anger over Katarina's suffering, Naruto decided to retaliate against the culprit. Creatures of the Grim, heed my call and obey. Ursa Major, arise and gather your offspring. Defend Karin Uzumaki and annihilate the man named Zasui, Naruto intoned. Karin noticed shadowy shapes resembling bears shifting around. She whimpered, frightened, when she saw their glowing red eyes, 6 in total. One of the bear-like beasts towered almost to the cabin's ceiling. When the door swung open revealing the Kusa jonin, the creatures lunged immediately. The largest bear slammed into the man, throwing him outside. The other 5 quickly followed, while the massive bear pinned Zasui down, its powerful jaws biting into his torso. The creatures proceeded to tear into him at multiple points. Despite her fear, Karin peeked out and gasped in terror as she witnessed the Kusa jonin being savaged by the shadow bears. His screams were audible only to her. Naruto chose to reveal himself. Poetic, isn't it? Startled, Karin jumped as a boy her age emerged from the shadows. Curious, she asked the mysterious boy why he thought the situation fitting. Naruto chuckled softly. That man caused your mother's death. She died from chakra exhaustion. You know your mother could heal others by letting them bite her, right? That's what they exploited. They abused her gift. He finished as the jonin's screams ceased, though he still whimpered weakly, gasping as more wounds were inflicted and blood poured from each. What mothers? Karin stammered, horrified. Yes, I'll explain more later, for now we must leave. Who are you? I'm Naruto. Naruto who? Where are you from? Naruto smiled gently, taking her arm and leading her into the shadows. Uzushiagakure Naruto paused Yujito's training and asked her to comfort Karin while he explained everything. He revealed who he was, the nature of his powers, and his plan to revive Uzushiagakure by sacrificing souls. Karin's grief was brief, once she learned her mother would return when Naruto mastered his Kyuureigen. All right then. You'll stay in Konoha for the time being. You can do as you please, but remain inside the hotel. If you need me, just call my name. Ghost Station there will alert me. Karin nodded. Thank you, Naruto. For rescuing me. You're in Uzumaki, family comes first, I did what had to be done. Naruto smiled. The girl blushed, thanking him again. What will happen to Kusagakure now? They lost their healer. Naruto grinned darkly, causing her to shiver. Because of what they did to your mother, they'll all pay. Every last one. Time skip, 1 week Konohagakure news of the massacre in Kusagakure spread across the hidden villages. Whoever attacked left no survivors. Blood stained the village's walls and trees, remains and gore littered the ground. It was deemed worse than the Uchiha clan massacre, with no one left alive. Rumors spoke of demons responsible. Unbeknownst to them, it was true. For Naruto, son of the Shinigami, had unleashed chaos upon the village. Various demons tore into the grass village's inhabitants. Their souls were trapped inside crystals, later to be traded as currency for a resurrection ritual. Still, Konoha's leaders focused on more urgent issues. One was the revelation of the fourth Hokage's son. The news spread quickly, sparking minor unrest among villagers and shinobi, especially from clans. Hiruzen Sarutobi admitted the fourth Hokage, indeed, had a son named Naruto Uzumaki. However, only academy students and select ANBU who guarded him in his youth knew this. The villagers wanted information, but many lacked access to the academy records, held by staff and teachers. Yet Naruto's file was missing, the only file the Hokage had permitted public access to. Sarutobi couldn't disclose the boy's status as Ninetales Jinchuriki. The village only knew his parents, Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. Recent files about Naruto were also gone. Investigations revealed a teacher named Mizuki was last seen leaving the registry. ANBU suspected he might be a spy, though his loyalties were unclear. Nearly 3 years had passed since Sarutobi last saw Naruto in person. Upon deciding to visit, he was shocked to find Naruto absent from his apartment-turned-hotel. Further inquiries considered Mizuki a suspect in Naruto's disappearance. Yet no evidence of kidnapping was found, and Mizuki was released a week later. Authorities remained suspicious of his allegiance but lacked proof. 2 theories emerged. Naruto had been abducted by unknown jutsu, or the fourth Hokage's son had left the village. Not officially a deserter, Naruto had only civilian records. Hokage's office Hiruzen focused on his scrying orb, searching for Naruto, when a messenger burst in. Hokage-sama, urgent news. Spies in Iwa report troop movements. All Chunin and higher are undergoing retraining by the Tsuchikage. The order was given 3 days ago. Market observers also report Iwa stockpiling weapons and new orders pending. Seems word has reached them, Hiruzen muttered. The messenger added, Hokage-sama, Iwa suspected the fourth Hokage's son's existence long before the news broke. The latest intel confirms it. Hiruzen's eyes widened. Summon all department heads and clan leaders immediately. Recall Jiraiya. Konohagakure, Kurama Family Hotel. Jiraiya just arrived, Rado said, settling down. Of course, he hit the hot springs first. You can never count on that pervert, called back for war, but what does he do? Perverted nonsense. True enough, Naruto nodded. Hey Naruto, isn't he your godfather? Yujito asked. He's supposed to be, but he never fulfilled that role. He abandoned me to this hateful village. I don't care anymore. With him gone, I do as I please, the boy said. Now I plan to invest in ships. The land of snow is advanced in machinery. In less than 3 years, I want a fleet ready. Exactly how large is this fleet? Rado asked, running mental figures. Roughly 150 vessels. 6 to 12 aircraft carriers, 20 or more airships, 50 battleships and 50 auxiliary ships. That's enormous. Can they really manufacture all that within 3 years? The boss exclaimed. They can. Currently, the land of snow is churning out 1 ship every week. The snow spirits have informed me they're constructing 6 additional shipyards. The build rate could speed up if they increase labor. That's where I come in. Naturally, he can produce thousands of clones. Rado nodded in understanding. What about funding? How do you plan to finance this? When I raised Kusagakure, I discovered it's rich in mineral deposits. Strange that even locals were unaware. The area is now under lockdown, guarded by demons. Earth element demons mine continuously. Folks are too fearful to investigate, so 6 months should suffice to exhaust the resources. May I ask, why do you require such a fleet? 4 of the 5 great nations share land borders. Unless your aim is to invade the land of water. Naruto nodded, adding, Whirlpool had strong defenses but was close to enemy territory and easily besieged. I intend to strike eastward. My plan is to re-establish the new Uchiha in the Land of Moon. That place is remote, affluent, and geographically favorable. Kirigakure will act as a buffer zone, or a battlefield if you prefer. I want the world to believe Uchiha was rebuilt in the Land of Water, but it will actually be in the Land of Moon. Also, the Land of Swamps and Demons is loosely governed. Only a priestess and some followers guard it from demons, not shinobi. Why other nations haven't taken it over is beyond me. I simply don't care. I want that land for myself. Time skip, 2 years have gone by with Konoha still unaware of Naruto's location. This did not prevent Iwagakure from engaging in a cold conflict with the Leaf. Only the Hokage's swift response, upon discovering the Tsuchikage's maneuvers, stopped a full-scale war. With Danzo gone and unable to disrupt his rule, Hiruzen united all capable shinobi, including former root members. Patrols, defenses, and station personnel in the Land of Fire doubled. Danzo's old operatives were usually assigned near borders. Trained by root, they showed no mercy torturing or killing Iwa spies. This earned the Hokage renewed respect, lost after the Yondame's sacrifice 11 years earlier. Onoki withdrew but still sent occasional small raids. Even on the brink of war, Konoha gained more clients and missions, increasing revenue. However, even Shikaku Nara, the Leaf's war strategist, did not predict they would provoke another village, Sunagakure. Academy and Team 7 will be Hyuga Neji, Higurashi Tent, and Uchiha Sasuke. Your Jounin sensei is Hadake Kakashi. Sasuke glanced at Neji, who gave a subtle nod as Uruka announced the team. Team 8 consists of Hyuga Hinata, Fujino Natsuki, and Haruno Sakura. Your Jounin sensei is Yuhei Kurenai. Hinata was expected to be the top female of their year, but slipped behind after Naruto disappeared, ranking second to Tenten. Natsuki was mid-tier, while Sakura, a devoted Sasuke fan, followed his lazy pranks and ranked near the bottom. Team 9, Yamanaka Ino, Nara Shikamaru, and Akimichi Choji. Sensei is Sarutobi Asuma. No surprises there, the classic Ino-Shikacho trio. Finally, Team 10 includes Lee Rock, Inuzuka Kiba, and Aburame Shino. Their sensei is Might Guy. All male, unlike Team 8. Time skip 6 months. Hokage Tower. Hokage-sama, I believe my team is ready for a C-rank mission, Kakashi declared as his genins approached the mission desk. Whom are they? Very well. Send in Tazuna-san, the Hokage ordered. A disheveled old man entered, bowing slightly. Tazuna-san, Team 7 will escort you back to the Land of Waves. What? A cyclops, a lesbian, a trans woman, and a duck butt for escorts. While Kakashi struggled to stop Tenten from attacking their client, Team 8 arrived. Mission accomplished, Hokage-sama. Natsuki ignored the other team and went straight to the desk, followed by Hinata, Sakura, and Kurenai. Neji, spotting his rival cousin, recalled Naruto's advice from 5 years prior and stepped forward. Excuse me, Hokage-sama, but I don't think my team is prepared for a C-rank mission, especially escort type. Kakashi-sensei has only taught us teamwork, which we haven't mastered yet. I'd like to point out that Uchiha here ranked last. The duck butt might drag us down and cause mission failure. Sasuke bristled at the insult. Unbeknownst to them, someone had foreseen this and knew how to respond. Excuse me, Hokage-sama. If Team 7 isn't ready for this C-rank mission, then Team 8 is better suited, said Natsuki confidently. Everyone stared at Natsuki with mixed expressions. The rest of Team 8 were surprised. Neji and Sasuke showed no emotion, Kakashi and Tenten frowned, and the Hokage smiled amusedly. Sakura quickly recovered, thinking Sasuke was looking at her, and eagerly agreed with Natsuki to impress him. Hinata, still holding out hope to find Naruto, agreed too. What say you, Kurenai? The Hokage asked. Hi, I believe my team is ready for a C-rank mission, Hokage-sama, Kurenai answered, standing tall. Well, Kakashi, looks like you won't be getting C-rank missions yet. You'll have to focus on drilling teamwork for now, the Hokage said with a knowing smile, prompting a mild snort from Kakashi. Very well, Hokage-sama. I request 2 more D-rank missions today. Team 8 familiarized themselves with their client, while Team 7 received 2 scrolls from the Hokage. Prepare for a 5-day journey. Meet at the gates in 2 hours, Kurenai instructed. Land of Waves. While Konoha operated as usual, things were different at the Land of Waves. The calm sea was disturbed by a dozen aging warships encircling nearly a third of the island's coast. Gadu, who held influence there, commanded his mercenaries to give the intruders a warm reception. Locals, upon seeing the warships, felt hope. A long-forgotten banner flew from the masts, a swirl inside a circle after 30 years. People speculated whether these were returning survivors or clans regrouping. Either way, the Whirlpools were back at Wave's border. Gadu, unfamiliar with shinobi, had no idea today would be his last day. Confident, he stood ready. He had previously hired powerful A-rank missing nin like Mamachi Zabuza, who he recalled to duty. The demon brothers should suffice to eliminate that cursed Tazuna. Unluckily, he learned the invaders were so strong that 3 great nations combined had to band together against them. As the ships fired loud signals, Gadu ordered his troops to prepare arrows and throwable weapons. A lone figure leapt off the largest ship toward them. Wearing an old-style battle outfit, the figure boosted defender morale. In seconds, the youth covered the distance from shore to frontline. Gadu laughed loudly when he realized the attacker was just a young boy, as did most mercenaries. Kill him, he commanded. Naruto, his hair now flowing past his shoulders, grinned wickedly as projectiles, and jutsu aimed to trap or kill him flew his way. He quickly recognized the mercenary army was mostly rogue Iwa shinobi, with some mercs, bandits, and rogue samurai mixed in. Naruto understood that the so-called rogue ninjas from Iwa were not truly missing shinobi. They had been dispatched by the Tsuchikage to covertly position themselves closer to the Land of Fire, with Konoha remaining unaware. They were ready to strike the leaf whenever commanded. Time to mess with their minds, Naruto thought, reaching into his weapon pouch to pull out a tri-pronged kunai, which he then hurled toward the enemy ranks. Kunai Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Gadu's troops easily parried the thrown weapons, never realizing the kunai were oddly shaped. Their only warning was the boy's sinister grin. They lost their formation when Naruto loudly announced his next technique. Hiruzen no Jutsu. One after another, the enemy soldiers dropped as sudden flashes of crimson appeared at random points along their lines. The massacre lasted a full minute before ceasing. The survivors found themselves immobilized. When they tried to understand why, they realized they were trapped by seals. Distracted by the boy, they had overlooked the fact he arrived with a fleet of a dozen ships. Locals, who had hidden inside their homes, peered through window slats once the noise of battle died down. They saw Gadu and his men frozen in place, surrounded by the red-haired Uzumaki clan. Indeed, the Uzumaki had returned. Naruto watched with satisfaction as the once-oppressed townsfolk vented their fury on Gadu and his remaining henchmen. They showed no mercy, torturing the vile criminals. After finishing his own punishment of one random thug, Naruto noticed the people of Wave enthusiastically following suit. One boy was particularly inventive in how he dealt with Gadu. Naruto was surprised to see Inari behaving this way, especially since the spirits had called him a whiny brat just hours earlier. He was relieved the fight didn't last longer. Though he had extra chakra from the Kyuubi, maintaining the illusion that the warships were aged wooden vessels drained him. Additionally, he had to create special clones for the spirits to possess, enhancing the realism of the Uzumaki clan's invasion of Wave. Once the celebrations ended, rebuilding the town would commence immediately. Originally, Naruto planned to stay undercover until the Chunin exams, but seeing the Iwa ninja among Gadu's forces spurred him into action. Making himself known now would stir more trouble among the 5 great nations anyway. So, it worked out well. He was about to speak to the townspeople when a raven landed on his shoulder and cawed. "Oh," Naruto muttered, pulling a small scroll from the pouch on the bird's leg. "We have our orders, heading to Wave now." Naruto smiled quietly as he burned the scroll. The startled crow flew off cawing. He headed back toward the town center, ready to give instructions. One day later, Iwagakure Border's morning patrol guards stood alert as a lone figure approached the gates. Recognizing him as a missing ninja, they readied to attack, but a senior jounin stopped them just in time. The man collapsed to one knee, gasping. "Son of the fourth, Hiruzen, Uzumaki clan, a dozen ships, pull back," he blurted before fainting. The guards noticed his bloodied clothes and wounds. "Sir," one Chunin guard asked. "Is he delirious?" "No, he isn't," the jounin answered. "The Tsuchikage sent them to Wave on a mission. Take him to the infirmary. I'll notify him immediately." Konohagakure Hokage's office, urgent news, Hokage-sama. A Hyuga jounin interrupted the Hokage and Kakashi's discussion. Hiruzen nodded as the man approached the desk. "Scouts report a medium-scale battle at Wave. Earth techniques and many seals detected." "Seals?" the Hokage murmured thoughtfully. "Sir, you should see this. We found it at the site." The jounin laid a small bundle on the desk, prompting shock from both the Sandaime and Kakashi. "That's Uzushiagakure ruins. Damn, I forgot to retrieve it," Naruto cursed himself. "I got cocky." "True enough, mistakes like that could be costly, landing you in trouble," Kurama said. "Agreed, I'll be more careful. Thankfully, I already placed mine seals on the townsfolk. Not even the best Yamanaka could break through those." Konohagakure Hokage's office, Kakashi, stared incredulously at the tri-pronged kunai resting on the Sandaime's desk, a famed weapon of their late master. The two had been silent for some time until the messenger interrupted. "Sir," the Sandaime sighed. "Thank you, you may go." Once alone, he told Kakashi, "I'm sending you and 4 ANBU squads to Wave. Investigate, question the locals carefully but do not force answers." "Sir, Kurenai and her genin team are heading to Wave 2. If the attackers are still nearby, they could be in danger. Should we pull them back?" "What about the client?" "I suspect Tazuna-san isn't telling us everything. I dismissed him as a drunk, but now I'm uneasy. This mission's perfect for teams 7, 9, and 10. Prevent Team 8 from reaching Wave and bring Tazuna in for questioning, no, interrogation if needed. Asuma can oversee your genins on return. Lead the ANBU squads thereafter." "Understood, Hokage-sama. I'll inform Asuma and Guy." "Iwagakure Hospital, how is he?" Onoki asked the doctor. "Stable. Wounds are treated and will heal fine, but he's exhausted and in shock. Whatever he saw must have terrified him." "I see," the doctor nodded and left. "Sir, what next?" the reporting jounin asked. "You said he mentioned the fourth son, Hiruzen, Uzumaki clan and the fleet?" "Yes, Tsuchikage-sama. We'll deal with that later. For now, recall our rogue forces sent out this morning. Meet me in my office after. I have a mission for you." Somewhere in Fire Country's forests, Kurenai walked behind the client, her genins arranged in a triangular formation ahead. She was quietly observing when she noticed something strange, a puddle of water on dry ground. Pathetic, she thought. Using genjutsu on a sunny day like this. Time to test these three. She glanced at Natsuki and Hinata, who also sensed something wrong. She had to hold back a sigh when she noticed that her third student remained just as clueless as before. Kurenai quietly performed a substitution jutsu as the fools hiding near the puddle launched their surprise attack. Choosing to step back, she decided to observe how her students would handle the challenge. To her surprise, despite her initial fear and shock at witnessing their sensei seemingly fall, Sakura stepped forward to shield their client. Meanwhile, Natsuki and Hinata effortlessly subdued their assigned opponents. Emerging from her hiding place, Kurenai praised her students and proceeded to bind the defeated assailants. Suddenly, thick mist engulfed the area until visibility and sound were nearly impossible. She then heard 2 heavy impacts hit the ground and caught the sound of Natsuki's anguished scream. After a brief silence, the fog began to clear. As it fully lifted, a cold shiver ran down her spine. Sakura's upper torso lay several feet away from her lower half. Their client, Tazuna, had a senbon lodged in his neck and was unconscious. Natsuki and Hinata were nowhere to be seen. For what felt like an eternity, Kurenai stood frozen in disbelief until she sensed several chakra signatures coming from the direction they had arrived. She immediately recognized the silver-haired figure leading a sizable group. Fire Wave Border Naruto waited calmly, sensing 4 distinct life energies. Over time, his ability to detect living beings had grown stronger and wider. As soon as Zabuza and his companion appeared, he swiftly formed hand seals, activating the immobilizing and chakra-draining seals he had previously set. The 2 rogue ninjas were forced into paralysis as their bodies became unresponsive. During his fight against Gadu's forces, Naruto had finally awakened the fourth stage of his Kuregen. Still mastering this power, he knew the revived dead had only 30 minutes to remain active. He timed the Demon Brothers' confrontation with Kurenai's team carefully. The moment Team 8 was caught in the Chunin's genjutsu, Naruto began the ritual to resurrect Zabuza and Haku. Haku was ordered to paralyze Tazuna with a senbon and capture Natsuki, while making it appear as though only the bridge builder was targeted. Zabuza's mission was to abduct Hinata and eliminate one of the remaining Team 8 members, also pretending to pursue Tazuna, who had only seen the Hyuga heiress. Without hesitation, Naruto retrieved Natsuki and Hinata from the two missing nin. Passing the girls to his clones, he stamped identical seals onto the foreheads of Zabuza and Haku. Then, summoning Kagatsuchi, he shaped the weapon into a scythe and severed the immobilized rogue ninja. He picked up the great cleaver of the former Kirigakure swordsman and sealed it inside a scroll. Tapping into his third chakra, Naruto cloaked the area in darkness and used it to shadow travel to the ruins of Uzashigakure. Moments later, Kakashi, along with 8 Ninken and 4 ANBU squads, arrived to investigate the area that had been enveloped in shadows. The ANBU formed a defensive perimeter as the dogs sniffed around. Kakashi noticed the dogs' unease quickly. "Pakun, what's wrong?" "Darkness, Kakashi. It smells like pure darkness. It's disturbing," the dog responded. "Darkness?" Kakashi mused. "I'll look into that later." "Any tracks of whoever killed those two?" he asked. "They're everywhere, Kakashi." Confused, Kakashi questioned, "What do you mean?" "The trail is scattered in all directions," Pakun repeated. "How is that possible? How many were here?" "We can't tell. It could have been 1 or 100. Whatever jutsu they used to escape has tricked even our noses. Try to detect other scents. Maybe they're hidden within the darkness." Kakashi waited patiently as the dogs focused. Soon they wagged their tails excitedly. "What did you find?" "There are many scents, but 3 stand out." "Whose?" "The missing son of the 4th Hokage, Naruto." "And Naruto?" "Yes. The other 2 belong to Kurenai's missing genin." "Damn." Kakashi looked around in frustration, feeling helpless. He sensed something about Naruto but found no concrete trail. He then addressed the ANBU. "Are the bodies sealed?" "Yes, sir, but Mamacha's sword is missing," an ANBU reported. "Forget that. Whoever killed him must have taken it. We need to move." The instant he caught sight of the Hokage's steely gaze, Tazuna crumbled. Neither Inoichi nor Ibiki needed to issue any threats for him to divulge everything. Still, Inoichi had to probe deeper into his memories, as the man struggled to articulate the earlier events. Inoichi swiftly pinpointed the scene he sought. He observed silently as Hinata and Natsuki fended off the Demon Brothers, a fact Inoichi immediately identified, while Sakura positioned herself to shield their client physically. Unlike Kurenai, he instantly noticed that the mist had already descended the moment the genins dealt the finishing blows to the fugitives. The fog gathered and thickened primarily around Kurenai, separating her from the genins and Tazuna. With Kurenai's senses dulled, one of the attackers sprang from concealment, landing directly before Sakura. The Yamanaka recognized the man at once. His weapon gave him away. Frowning, Inoichi watched as the rogue shinobi wasted no time slashing the defenseless genin. Natsuki screamed in shock, and Hinata gasped in terror. Zabuza turned to face the remaining escorts of his target. "Well, what have we here?" "A Hyuga, today's fortune smiles on me. Look at you, an unmarked forehead, definitely the heiress. The rakeage will pay handsomely for you." Then Zabuza glanced toward the brush. "Haku, we're taking the Hyuga too." On cue, 2 senbon darts zipped through the air. One struck Hinata's neck, the other hit the bridge builder. Zabuza caught the girl as she collapsed unconscious and leapt away. Another figure emerged from the foliage to retrieve Tazuna, who was paralyzed but still conscious. Shaken from her shock, Natsuki formed a lightning clone. The clone swapped places with Tazuna while she rushed to aid her captured comrade. Her efforts proved futile as Zabuza's ally easily knocked her out. This one's skilled. Drop the old drunkard. We're taking this girl instead." "But Zabuza-sama," came the reply, the voice belonging to a young boy, recognized by Inoichi. "What about Tazuna?" "Our mission is to eliminate the old man, yes. Leaving him here is sufficient, he'll perish regardless. The leaf will pursue him for the other girl's death." Inoichi shut his eyes and withdrew from the old man's mind. At that moment, a Yamanaka from a separate division entered. Pardon the interruption, Hokage-sama, but urgent news. We managed to breach the corpses' minds but found nothing. Their memories have been erased. Further scans revealed no genjutsu or ninjutsu traces, leading us to conclude sealing techniques were involved. Hiruzen's eyes narrowed. Sealing jutsu. Jirya is the only one I know who can partially erase memories with seals, but complete erasure is beyond him. This aligns with the battle reports. Numerous sealing residues were found. Could these be from Uzumaki's? A medium-scale fight would mean over 30 combatants. If so, many must have survived. But why hide even from Konoha? Uzushiagakure ruins, Uzukage Tower. Natsuki groaned as consciousness returned. She glanced around, immediately realizing their location. Beside her, Hinata stirred, nearly waking. Quickly, Natsuki formed hand seals and softly tapped Hinata's forehead with a sleep technique to keep her resting. She rose as footsteps approached. Natsuki knelt as the door slid open, revealing Naruto. You did well. Here are the papers for your next assignment. Uzushiagakure ruins, Uzukage Tower. Natsuki, the girl stirred as someone shook her awake. Natsuki, came a frantic hiss. Damn it, wake up, she frowned, pushed herself into a seated position dizzy and spotted her teammate. Hinata, what? No time. They went downstairs to confer, we need to escape. Remembering their situation, she stood. Wait, maybe we can look around briefly. These walls aren't sealed right. Can your Byakugan see through? Hinata hesitated but nodded, activating her visual prowess. We're in a tower on the 5th floor. 4 figures appear below in what seems to be the basement, but they're distorted, I can't see clearly. Only 4? Natsuki asked. Hinata frowned and scanned. Yes, only 4, she confirmed. What about their chakra levels? Are they strong? Almost none. They don't seem to be shinobi, probably samurai. Or something distorting your vision could be masking their chakra. Hinata bit her lip. That's possible. All right, let's check the rooms. We might uncover something useful before escaping. Without waiting, Natsuki stepped out. She inspected the 3 other rooms on the floor before heading down. Hinata maintained her Byakugan, scanning for traps before Natsuki entered each chamber. Reaching the 3rd floor, Natsuki breathed relief. Finally, something. Looks like an office, Hinata remarked, stepping inside. That's, Natsuki gasped, taking in the space. It resembled the Hokage's office, but with shattered windows, a battered desk and chair, and a tattered flag embroidered with a red swirl inside a circle. Kami-sama, Hinata whispered, peering outside. Earlier, she'd assumed they were in an abandoned mine tower. Now, with Byakugan deactivated, she saw the ruined village surroundings. We're in Uzushiagakure, Natsuki exclaimed before Hinata could speak. Hinata nodded silently. They had studied history and learned of extinct clans and destroyed villages. She had seen images of the village hidden by whirling tides, but felt crushed seeing its ruins firsthand. Bowing her head in a brief prayer for the fallen, she spotted a folder she hadn't noticed before. Before she could reach it, Natsuki grabbed it first. It bears the Hokage seal, her teammate murmured. Oh, let me see. Hinata examined it. It's unsealed. What? SSS class secret. How did this get here? Must be a copy. Check the dates, Natsuki pointed. You look through it. I'll search the rest of the room for anything important. Natsuki began scanning while discreetly watching Hinata. It wasn't long before a smirk tugged at her lips, as she noticed Hinata's curiosity shift to horror. Hinata was about to voice her thoughts when a voice interrupted from the doorway. You shouldn't be here. The speaker remained shadowed in the frame. Hinata glanced at Natsuki, who looked startled. Natsuki jumped back beside Hinata, both assumed defensive stances. Relax. If I wanted to kill you, I would have done it already. You should be grateful. I saved you from rogue Kiri Nin. The figure entered, clad in old-style armor from the era before the Second Ninja War. It was clear he was an Uzushio shinobi. Hinata held her ground, raising the folder toward him. How did you get this? Is the information real? Who Naruto? Natsuki looked between her teammate and the boy. You resemble the 4th Hokage. You're his son, Naruto raised an eyebrow. You know about my lineage. Of course, everyone does, Hinata answered. The village has been searching for you. Where have you been all this time? HN. They were only seeking the son of the 4th Hokage, not Uzumaki Naruto, the one the villagers despised. If they knew I was the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, they would never accept me as the Hokage's son. But you're not the Nine-Tails itself, just the vessel, Natsuki said, confusing Hinata. Judging by your faces, your teammate understands my Jinchuriki status. Let her explain it to you, Hinata, Naruto said as he prepared to leave. Naruto, wait. Hinata hurried over and grabbed his arm. Don't go. Please come back to the village with us. Why would I? They share the blame for wiping out my clan. Naruto nodded toward the folder the girl still clutched tightly. Hinata released his arm and stared down at the folder. Lunch will be served in the main hall in an hour, after which you can return to your village, he added, then left the room. 1 week later, Konohagakure Hokage's office inside, the Hokage, Jiraiya, and Shikaku Nara were gathered. The office doors were sealed tight as they discussed critical matters. From our wave investigation, Gato's mercenary forces were mostly made up of rogue ninjas from Iwa. Still, from a shinobi perspective, it appears suspicious, as we have confirmed, Jiraiya stated. It's unlikely that Gato, intentionally or not, hired so many rogue ninjas from Iwa, Shikaku added. If he recruited missing nin, there should have been more from Kirigakure since it's closer. We can deduce they were deployed to wave disguised as missing nin. To back this up, here is last month's edition of Iwagakure's bingo book. Over the past 8 months, 4 new names appeared weekly, judging by their supposed defection dates, Jiraiya said, pulling out a book and flipping to a marked page. Shikaku chimed in again. The Tsuchikage made an error in deployment. Their bingo book shows a squad sent out weekly, but the info on these nuke-nin is limited and they have no bounties. Hiruzen finally spoke. Considering our current situation with Iwa, their presence served one purpose. An invasion, Shikaku said. The Hokage nodded. Yes, they were moving troops near our borders. The Tsuchikage likely ordered it, and we would have been caught off guard despite increased patrols. Whoever freed Gato unknowingly stopped an invasion. Without the wave incident, we wouldn't have uncovered their plan. I dispatched a special team that same day to examine the bodies. Compared to Gato's supposed army size, the team found far fewer corpses. Using the Aburame clan's Kikaichu insects, most missing bodies left a trail heading toward Iwagakure. I'll check with my informants about funeral rites there. Though we are certain of Iwa's failed invasion, more info will be useful for records, Jiraiya said. Regarding the invasion, the Tsuchikage has withdrawn the troops that got close to Fire Country. It's safe to say Onoki has backed down. Iwagakure suspects Konoha is harboring Minato's son, sent to eliminate Iwa shinobi using the Hurei-shin. The Hokage and Shikaku exchanged looks. Perhaps we should take credit for this, Shikaku wondered. The Hokage considered it. Not a bad idea, Jiraiya agreed. Let's deliberate further before making a quick decision, Shikaku advised. We need a plan to take credit properly. Uzashigakure 1 week prior Naruto, and the 2 Kunoichi from Konoha had just finished their meal. Kasumi and other spirits were present, though only Naruto could see them. Naruto, Hinata hesitated, setting down her chopsticks. Naruto and Natsuki looked at her expectantly. I don't want to return to Konoha, let me join you. Her teammate remained silent, waiting for Naruto's response. Why? He asked simply. Natsuki told me about the Jinchuriki, the Kyuubi, and the events from almost 12 years ago. I've also read that folder. Hinata paused, took a breath, and continued. When we were at the academy, I used to follow you. Oh, Naruto smirked, already knowing this. Hinata blushed and looked down at her plate. Yes, I wondered why villagers looked at you with such hatred, or sometimes fear. Now I understand. That still doesn't answer my question. Let me ask you this, do you want to help me? Hinata met his gaze and nodded silently. Yes, then it's best you return to Konoha, don't you think? That way you can aid by sending information to me occasionally. Naruto straightened up. Besides, it would raise suspicion if your teammate came back alone. Or not at all. Naruto casually pulled out a kunai. Hinata's eyes widened while Natsuki raised her hands in surrender. Whoa, no need for that. I won't expose you, Uzashio, or the file. I'm repaying you for saving us from those rogue Kiri nin by keeping quiet. She glanced at Hinata and added, and I won't tell them Hinata wants to stay here. Is that so? Naruto said, sheathing the kunai. Still, we should place some seals on you to protect certain secrets, Naruto added. You'll say who saved you but nothing more. Natsuki nodded quickly, still uneasy. Hinata understood Naruto had saved them from rogue nin, so if he could defeat them, they stood no chance. I suppose you can stay a week, but after that you must return. Thank you, Hinata and Natsuki replied. Present time, Hinata and Natsuki have safely reached Konoha's outer limits. They should be at the gates now, given their pace. Sai appeared before his leader, kneeling. Good, Naruto said. Notify the shadows in Kiri. It's time. Understood. How do you want us to proceed? In 3 months, you will wear the Konoha ANBU uniform. Your mission is to capture Mei Terumi and the Kirigakure Council. They will meet to discuss the upcoming Chunin exams. The village must remain unaware. No one should be killed, just incapacitated guards around their meeting room. When finished, I will handle the rest. The guards will forget being knocked out, but those inside will be sealed to control their will. They will act without control, yet remember everything. They'll hate Konoha, believing they're forced to appoint leaf replacements. Eventually, they'll break free, warn their people covertly, swear revenge, and flee. The land of water will be ours. This is vital to Uzushiagakure's resurgence. No mistakes. Plan carefully. It will be done, Naruto-sama. Konohagakure Jiraiya hurried off toward the hot springs, while Shikaku strolled leisurely from the office. The Hokage, having removed the extra privacy seals, was about to light his pipe with no new paperwork. Suddenly, a messenger burst in. Hokage-sama. Hiruzen winced at the urgency. Bad news, no doubt. Pinching his nose bridge, he exhaled. What is it? 2 individuals claim to be Hyuga Hinata and Fujino Natsuki. They're being held in the interrogation cells. Interrogation cells, the Hokage erupted. Who decided to put them there? He stormed out, shouting. The messenger froze, stunned by the outburst. Shinobi and civilians stepped aside as the furious Hokage marched toward the T&I building, muttering, if this leaks, it will cause a huge political scandal. Idiots. Who thought it was wise to imprison the heiress there? Even if she's an imposter. Scene change. Ruins of Uzushiagakure. Right after the Hokage's discussion with Jiraiya and Shikaku concluded, the spirit who had been spying hastened to deliver the report to Naruto, who was currently training Karin. What's your plan now? Karin asked after Naruto shared the news. He chuckled softly. Let them claim the glory. I'll simply tell the people of Wave not to side with or against Konoha's statements. But won't that make Konoha seem overwhelmingly strong? Exactly, Naruto smirked. I don't get it. The neighboring villages, especially Iwa and Kumo, will scramble to match the power Konoha's flaunting. Once they gain the means to challenge Konoha, it'll be overkill. Karin nodded thoughtfully and returned to her training. Concentrating, several chakra chains burst forth from her body, piercing through nearby rocks. Naruto appeared deep in thought. He intended to join the upcoming Chunin exams to entice Iwa into participating despite its recent setbacks. His dilemma was finding a third teammate and a temporary instructor. Yujito was not an option, as she was vital to sowing discord between Kumo and Iwa. Moreover, involving the Reikage would draw all Kumo's forces after them. Recruiting someone from his Kiri or Konoha shadows was too risky. Suddenly, dark chains erupted from Naruto's body, stabbing a large boulder near Karin's targets, startling her. Karin stared in amazement as the boulder shattered into fragments. The chains then grasped the debris and crushed it to dust. Now that you've improved your speed, Naruto said, pointing to the rocks riddled with holes, focus on strengthening your chains. In a month you'll spar with Yujito in her tailed beast form. Yujito, training nearby, overheard and appeared beside Karin in a flash of blue flames. Did you call me? Naruto grinned. I told Karin to work on her chain strength. You'll face her in your tailed beast form in a month. But, the younger girl hesitated. Naruto cut in. Karin, your mission is to capture Shukaku. If you can hold your own against Matatabi, then dealing with the Tanuki won't be a problem. The container's unstable, by the way, be ready. Do you really think I can do it? Karin muttered, head lowered. Naruto gently lifted her chin to meet her gaze. You're in Uzumaki, right? You can do it. He gave a rare gentle smile. Why yeah, of course. Karin stammered, cheeks flushed. Ignoring the glare Yujito threw at Karin, Naruto said, Good, I'm heading out. Where to? Looking for more Uzumakis. Karin and I need a third and fourth for the Chunin exams. Why not put me on your team? The Nibai Jinchuriki snapped. Naruto sighed. Yujito, I already explained. You have a different mission in Earth Country. Pouting, Yujito averted her gaze and shot a glare at Karin instead. Naruto rolled his eyes and melted into the shadows, reappearing elsewhere. I smell an upcoming catfight, the Kyuubi remarked as Naruto extended his senses, searching for an Uzumaki chakra. Yujito's like a mama cat protecting you. Karin's too shy to admit her feelings but fierce. When they clash, it'll be entertaining. Kurama, I'm too young to be worrying about girls, Naruto replied, shadow traveling to a cliffside. The fox scoffed. You're rebuilding the Uzumaki clan, but eventually you'll need to start your own family. Naruto sighed, extending his senses again. That was quick. What? I found someone, female. Her life force is weak but fluctuating, either old or gifted. Naruto scanned the mountain opposite the cliff. Below lay a small village with about 40 buildings. Naruto, Kurama shouted urgently. There's another holding my chakra nearby, I want it back. Really, how's that possible? Look up, I sense it, kill the host, I want it back. The Kyuubi roared. Naruto's gaze climbed to a temple atop the mountain. The last time the fox inside him got this furious was 7 years ago, when the Liots tried to kill Naruto. The boy sighed and began his ascent. The other Uzumaki could wait. First, he'd handle this Kyuubi Jinchuriki pretender. Scene change back in Konoha, the Hokage ordered Hyuga Hinata's immediate release upon her arrival. He verified her claims by simply asking her to activate her Byakugan. Natsuki was handed to Inoichi for a mind scan. How did it go? The Hokage asked as Inoichi released his grip on the girl. She's who she claims. During the ambush, Natsuki took the place of the original target. She wasn't meant to be caught but to act as the bridge. Maybe I can pressure Tazuna into admitting it was Konoha who saved them, Hiruzen thought. Anything else? The attackers were Zabuza Mamachi and an unknown accomplice. After awakening, the girls found themselves in a cabin with Hinata, unbound. Exiting, they realized they were aboard a warship. A warship? Yes, Hokage-sama. It looked old, like those from before the Second Shinobi War. Manned by few. A boy named Naruto Uzumaki told them he rescued them from the Nuke Nin. Hiruzen inhaled sharply. Was it truly him? He had yellow-orange shoulder-length hair, blue eyes, and whisker marks. His features mixed Yondaime-sama and Kushina Uzumaki. The darker hair shade might be his Uzumaki genes maturing. I believe it was Naruto Uzumaki or Naruto Namikaze. Sarutobi fell silent, pondering. After a moment he asked, the ship the boy couldn't have operated it alone. Did you see anyone else? From the girl's memories there were 4 others in old-style armor. Hinata was always with her. They didn't explore so there might be more. All had red hair. I have a guess but it's uncertain they might be dead. It's them, survivors, and they found Naruto, the Hokage muttered. Could be wrong, what do you think? I'll need to speak to Jiraiya and Shikaku again, Hiruzen sighed. The Uzumaki. Scene break. Naruto waited until night had fully fallen before making his move. He had spent the afternoon watching the boy, Sora, who always kept his arms covered. Yet Kurama sensed the fox's chakra was sealed within Sora's right arm. Naruto found it strange, since the chakra was usually contained within the stomach area. He resolved to give the boy an opportunity. If Sora cooperated and let Naruto extract the Kyuubi chakra from his arm, he would be spared. Though Sora was a fake Jinchuriki, possessing only a fragment of the fox's power, Naruto felt a twinge of sympathy. He saw how the monks eyed him coldly and kept their distance, much like how Naruto himself had been treated back in Konoha. Oddly, Naruto realized this place was the Fire Temple. Under the moon's glow, Naruto cautiously approached. Fortunately, Sora trained alone. Now was the time. Naruto would offer just one chance. He had no personal ties to the boy. His loyalty was only to the Uzumaki and those who showed him kindness during his youth. Just as he was about to reveal himself, a monk appeared before him, likely the leader, Naruto guessed. It's about time you showed yourself, the monk said. I've been expecting you. Your dark chakra drew me in, though I couldn't pinpoint where exactly you were hiding. Only someone powerful can conceal themselves so well. Step aside, monk. I have no quarrel with you, Naruto growled, annoyed at being detected. I am Kairaku, the Fire Temple's head. Yes, I know. You have something that belongs to me. I came to reclaim it. Step aside. I have other matters to attend to, Naruto snapped, his temper flaring. Kairaku glanced at Sora, who was still oblivious, then assumed a fighting stance. I cannot allow that. Tusk. If you seek death, then so be it. Naruto melted into the shadows and disappeared. The moonlight dimmed as shadows stretched and lengthened. From all directions, 100 shadowy tendrils shot forth toward the monk, who remained unfazed. Golden light radiated from Kairaku, and a multi-armed avatar appeared, effortlessly deflecting Naruto's attacks. Foolish to come here. Monks are blessed with the light. You, bearer of darkness, shall be defeated. Naruto ignored the insults and stayed concealed. The disturbance did not escape Sora, who now realized something was wrong. Naruto, you won't beat him now. You only defeated Jounin-level shinobi before due to surprise. Here, you lack that edge. You can't enter tailed beast mode either. Another vessel contains similar demon chakra. Just grab the boy and leave. Kurama advised. Damn, Naruto cursed and launched several chakra chains. The move caught Kirikou off guard, recognizing the Uzumaki bloodline. Seizing the moment, Naruto shadow traveled behind Sora and grabbed him. They reappeared in a cave near the mountain. Naruto slammed the struggling boy down hard. What's going on? Who are you? Where are we? Sora demanded. You know, Naruto, if your mother hadn't become the Shinigami's host and I hadn't been close to her, you'd probably be just like him. Loud and foolish. Probably shouting about becoming Hokage or something, Kurama said as Naruto restrained the fake Jinchuriki. Good thing that didn't happen. I couldn't lead a village that despises me, Naruto replied. Listen up. I have an offer for you. Sora glared but said nothing. Good, listen carefully. You have a demon's essence sealed in your right arm. Naruto pointed to it. Let me extract it, and I'll return you to the temple soon after. The monks hate you, don't they? Without that, you'd be accepted. What do you say? Sora shouted. No, how can I trust you? You fought Kirikou and kidnapped me. Naruto snorted. News flash, Sora, you don't really have a choice. I could extract it by force, but I was giving you a chance out of pity. Though he planned to spare him, Naruto's anger at Kirikou hardened his resolve. Without waiting for Sora's reply, he summoned Kagatsuchi, his bound weapon, in the shape of a dagger. Naruto stabbed it toward the boy's heart, formed hand seals, opened his stomach seal slightly, and began drawing out the malevolent chakra. Naruto watched coldly as Sora's body went limp. He lifted him, shadow traveled back to the mountain, and appeared at the temple gates. He flung the corpse against the iron bars, making enough noise to alert the monks inside. Naruto gave the body a blank stare. I said I'd return you, but never promised you'd survive. With that, he melded with the shadows and reappeared in the small town below. I'll leave the monks alone if they don't come after me or speak of this incident. The Sora situation was unexpected. Naruto didn't want to kill the monks. That would only bring unwanted attention, not when his plans were just beginning. Scene break. I'm sorry for your sudden ends. Actually no, I'm not sorry at all. Fuka gazed at her fallen comrades' bodies, then at their killer. One moment they had been quietly eating. The next, Furito, Fuin and Fudo lay bleeding out. She glared at the boy standing before her. His dark orange hair brushed his shoulders. He wore old-fashioned gray armor and wielded a blood-stained scythe. Most striking were the whisker-like marks on his cheeks. She inhaled deeply and forced a sweet smile. They were strong, you know. To dispatch them so easily, you must be powerful. How about I reward you with a kiss? If you were younger, maybe I'd consider, the boy replied. Fuka smirked. Oh, so you prefer girls your age? I'm ready, you know. Developed all the right assets. I admire your courage, but seduction won't work on me. You could be my grandmother. Fuka's playful grin faded into a blank stare. I know who you really are. And why you joined these now-dead people. Then why kill them? How am I supposed to take vengeance on Konoha now? She yelled. The boy remained calm, smiling without warmth. I'm Naruto, heir to the Uzumaki clan. I too seek Konoha's ruin and clan vengeance. But my plans are bigger than yours. They involve not just Konoha, but the other 4 great villages. Fuka Uzumaki, I want you to be part of that.